Okay, here we go then. So, near the end of the 998th year of the Third Era of Mageria, four birds were released from a fortress tower on an island in the northern part of the Marimore. They spiraled high, together for a brief time, then scattered to the winds, their wings bolstered and guided by enchantment. One flew but a short distance north and east to a small hamlet between wood and river. Another flew south and west to another island in the Marimore and the great city built thereupon. The third dashed further south yet, darting into marshland at the Marimore's southern edge. And the last of the four flew the furthest of them all, to the eastern edge of the valley of Mageria, beyond the Howling Plain and very nearly to the borders of Galgaea, turning nearly at the last to flutter into the thick, sloping forest between plain and mountain. And so, four different, disparate individuals received a call for help, unexpected and unlooked for, addressed to each of them by name, and calling them to the Isle of Threshold before the first day of the coming new year. There was no further word of explanation in these messages, so it was up to them whether or not to answer the call, whether out of a sense of duty or rightness or simple curiosity. Time passed, and the final month of the year emerged from the frost, snow, and slowly lengthening days. A month that shared a name with the island to which they were called, and the order which called it home, Threshold. And in those final weeks, travelers came to the great northern isle of the Marimore, travelers in such droves that one or two or three or four individuals could be lost in the crowds, for the day of reflection had come, and immediately after the day of resolution. And it was well known that Threshold guarded a magical font which blessed those who drank from it, particularly at times of such great significance as the dawning of the last year of an era, when the first day and the first full moon fell upon a wish day. As such, these four adventurers, as they arrived one by one on that final day, were simply more strangers in a small sea of faces, until they went up to the fortress compound, proffered their summoning letters at the door, and were led inside. First to arrive was a halfling woman, short even for the standards of her race, and stockily built, armed and armored in chainmail and leather, with green eyes and brown curly hair. Her guide, a mild-mannered young human male, dressed in simple robes of neutral cloth, brought her through the stark and winding stone halls of the Order's stronghold until they reached a small room, unadorned but for a few well-carved wooden benches, a small table, a fountain built into the wall trickling water from a spout into a basin with a cup set on the rim, and a few potted plants set on stands, trailing leaves across the floor and walls. There he left her, promising to return soon with refreshment. Ty, your
Yes.
character is alone in this room for now, but for the other players, would you like to introduce and describe her in more detail?
Yeah, Calda is very much a middle-aged halfling. Very much the brown hair, and then on her back, when you'd see her, you'd see a great sword and a glaive, and then a light hammer at her side. She walks with a lot of confidence, bit of skip in her step, and just always a bit of a smile on her face, bit of a very kind glow to her.
All right. For time being, you're left alone in the room. The basin is there for if you need a drink of water.
She'll get one.
Okay. Assuming that there's really nothing else that she would want to do, there's not much to do in that room. After approximately half an hour, your guide returns, bearing a tray of warm baked bread, a wheel of cheese, a small pot of preserved fruit and another of butter, and 4 knives. The tray does seem like a great deal of food for simple refreshments for just one person, even accounting for rumors and stereotypes surrounding halfling appetites. But some explanation follows him through the door, as a stranger walks behind him. A half-orc man, of average height, his head shaved close at the sides, leaving a strip of dark hair running from the center of his forehead to the nape of his neck. He wears a breastplate and carries a shield, among other weapons. Conrad, you've been guided to this room as well, told that you were not the only one summoned and another already awaits within. You enter behind your guide and the food he carries, and you see Calda. Would you like to introduce and describe your character as well in more detail?
Yeah, so as he kind of steps up to Calda, he kind of gives a half bow, adjusts his shirt, and says, "Morning, name's Kane. I take it you were called as well."
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
You as well. You handy with that glaive?
Fairly, yes. It helps when I'm not as fast as you probably are on your tall legs.
Hey, I don't blame him. He pulls out his glaive too. Birds of a feather, you know.
Flock together.
Exactly. And he'll kind of sit down near her. Request from the attendant, bread roll and one of the knives. Kind of sit down and carefully cut open his bread, fill it with cheese, and begin snacking, making small talk. Relatively well-mannered, speaks decently, but nothing of particular note. Kind of just an average, if mildly polite, brute of a half-orc. Otherwise, just enjoys his meal.
Okay. Further time passes. In that while, the platter of refreshments probably been fairly picked over. You might have examined the room, kind of checked out the plants. It's actually been like an hour or two perhaps at that point, so maybe a nearby privy's been asked for and shown to and back from. And after this long while, though it's kind of difficult to guess time given the way it stretches under the weight of some boredom, another member of the Order appears. Not the first one, but similarly addressed to your guide from earlier. This one, however, is a woman. Apparently human, but with a tiny pair of horns out of the front of her forehead that seem to mark some tiefling heritage in her blood. She opens the door and ushers in a younger, more obviously half-blooded, half-elven in this case woman. Tall, pale, her long dark hair strung with colorful beads, dressed in dark robes, with a wooden broomstick slung across her back. Devon, you were also told by your guide that you were not the only one called, nor the first to arrive. You were also told that you were waiting for just one more. You are led to the room and enter to see Calda and Kane. But first, before getting to that, go ahead and introduce your character, give any description that I might have missed.
Oh, sorry, mic was done. Alsana is the kind of... The lights don't dim when she walks in, but they might as well. Kind of carries herself loosely, but with eyes glancing about every bit of the room. Just in general, kind of has this not tired, but not alert look to her, and so I guess fairly neutral. Dark makeup kind of around the eyes, and some of the beads kind of clang together, various colors and shapes. There's a lot of reds and purples of just basic ones, but there are things like a coiled metal snake, or just this one particular shining gold bead. She kind of walks in, surveys the people, and looks back to the guide and with this kind of like furrowed look, just, are you sure that's the group I'm to be waiting with?
I am absolutely certain. There is just one more. Please wait here. We will bring further refreshment if needed. And the guide turns around and kind of not quite bows, but nods herself out of the room and closes the door.
Alright, she says to herself. She'll walk over, sit down, not saying anything.
Calder's gonna go up to her, extend a hand. Great to meet you. Called a friend.
She kind of gives a little eyes kind of slightly go up and just she doesn't shake it, just Alsana Abeladana.
At this, Kane just like slowly cricks his neck to look at her.
And she looks like she's gone through a phase or two in the time.
Yep, he just goes. Nice to see you again.
Oh, you two know each other?
The pleasure is all yours.
Typically is, yeah, Calda, this is my, if I'm not mistaken, my half-sister.
If only that number could be lower.
Well, if it's a compliment to Alsana, you do not look alike.
She, I think she's thankful every day for that.
Well, it's nice that some mothers can be leave us with different looks than others, let's say.
You always did have the luck, didn't you?
Maybe. She kind of looking at her nails.
And again, speaking of luck, I think Calda's got us both beat, if, rumors are true.
Calder just gives like, oh, right, Alsana, would you like some bread? I can get you some bread.
She kind of looks up. You're not telling something.
What am I not telling?
I'm not sure, but I'm terribly interested in it now.
Well, give it a bit and you'll find out, won't ya?
Oh, don't worry, I will.
Come on, Al. You know it's best not to pry.
She kind of gives a look and is like, oh, are we still doing household rules? I thought those were abandoned, given actions.
Well, abandoned or not, it's impolite. It's her business. If she doesn't want to tell, she doesn't have to, you know?
Really, one of you may want some more bread and jam, right?
Kane will take another bread.
Calder will get it for him.
You can tell me later.
Thank-
I can tell you when it comes to a comfortable point to ask.
Comforts for those less concerned about getting what's wanted to know. So,
Well, I
what
think
are you, some disgraced noble? Or maybe your father is, mother?
Excuse me? No.
One of
Can
her
she, like,
secrets is she's
Can she
just
like
super
glance? Can she like glance the looks on that and see if there's anything? Basically, see if the mention of disgraced noble has any reaction other than actual no.
Go ahead and make an insight check if you really want to.
She does.
Yeah. Calda?
Calder's just offended that you keep prying.
Yep. You get offense, but you don't get any, like, oh no, she's on to me.
The usual. Okay.
Why, do you have some history with a noble that you're hiding? You're trying to get into my secrets?
Oh, you're not special. I do that with everyone.
I certainly know I'm not special, but you certainly must have some history with a noble.
No, it's just the broad guess, gauge the face, stuff like that.
We'll better be getting better at guessing, huh?
Better be better about that stutter.
All right, let's Kane, you done that loaf? Should I get you another? Or I'm gonna get another loaf. Call the ghost to get more bread.
Yeah.
What of you, dear brother? What have you been up to in the years?
I think we lost him.
Oh,
Yep, we lost Conrad.
we're off to a good
Perfect
start.
timing. Rubbing his temples between bites.
Yep, of course.
Living a simple life, you, he says.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and just, oh, is that what the fuss was about? Was it worth it? Ah, don't tell me. I don't care.
So you're curious about everyone but your brother. Good.
Familiarity makes the heart grow annoyed.
Didn't know the heart could do that. But I figured your heart could do a bit of growing now.
Oh, what, too small and cold for you?
I don't know. It's just as I remember it personally. It's almost comforting to know you haven't changed that much, despite the looks.
Well, I know you haven't changed much if that's your impression, so we're all learning a bit of something.
Well, if it makes you feel better. You know what to expect from me. No surprises.
It doesn't.
Teeps their own. He just goes back to eating his food.
Osana will revel in the awkwardness of this room.
Yeah. And it is a fairly awkward room. Honestly, it stretches. And stretches. As you wait for this, erstwhile fourth member of your party. Eventually, the platter that was brought is depleted. A couple of times, the female of the two guides comes back to ask if there's anything that you need. Do you need some more food? Do you require a walkabout anywhere?
Do you have coffee?
I believe we do. We can bring them hot.
It would be very appreciated.
And is there a bath anywhere? Somewhere to clean off from the travels?
Oh, yes. I can actually bring in, alongside the pot of coffee, a basin and some cloths.
I'd prefer my privacy if that's alright.
We do not really have very many full baths, but I can, in that case, lead you to a smaller room with one.
That's alright with me.
And she will go ahead and gesture for you to follow. She'll lead you down a little bit of a length of hallway. It's not extremely far from the waiting area, just around like a couple of corners. She'll let you in, tell you to wait just a few minutes, and she goes back off. And in those few minutes, she doesn't actually return with this, but the guide that had brought you in, the human, comes back with, as promised, a basin of water. It's not necessarily hot, it's not steaming, but it is warm, and that is welcome given the still cold weather, as winter is still clinging on, even though spring is approaching. He sets that down, a small bar of simple soap, a cloth for washing, and another for drying, and leaves you to your privacy for a while.
You know, wash up, make sure his hair's all nice, switch into a nice set of clothes.
Yep. Yeah, you spend a little while doing that, freshening up. There's not really a mirror in the room or any kind of looking glass, but you can kind of make do with the reflection in the bottom of the basin. At least it gives you a broad idea of, yeah, that's about where there's your face, there's your head. Oh, looks like your hair is a little wonky. Fix that up. In the meantime, the woman had returned to the waiting room with Calda and Alsana, presumably still a slightly awkward quiet in there. And she brings along a pot of fresh coffee, 3 mugs because the 4th still hasn't arrived yet, and sets it down on the table. There's not very much to add to it, but there is a little pot of cream and another one of a little bit of sugar, just in case somebody really needs some.
Alsana will pour a cup and just drink it black.
Yeah.
Calder will go up to the female guy and just go, is the 4th person, do you know if they're alright? Just safe?
I wouldn't know. All I know is that the messages were sent, 4 would come, and they were to be given a place to wait, gathered together, and then brought downstairs to meet a couple of other visitors.
Do you have
I don't
names
have
of
any
those
further
visitors?
information. I'm afraid not. Yes.
What are
I'm
you
not
afraid of?
really... Disappointing someone, I suppose. On introspection. So I am afraid that I might disappoint you if you know that I am not one who is high up in the order. I am more a runner and a fetcher and a carrier of things. I've
Are you
got my
happy with your
skills.
position?
So far. I know I'll advance.
Do you?
It is fine. Everybody starts somewhere.
I suppose so. But everyone ends different places.
And that is so. And wherever I end is where I will have brought myself. And that is all that anybody can ask.
Well, you're certainly doing a very good job with us, and Calda's gonna give what would be like the gentle elbow to a rib. It's probably like to the knee, accidentally. Just like a little light bump.
Yep. She takes it pretty well. There's not even really any sway in her upper body, just the knee kind of moves a little bit. She seems to have a very good sense of balance to her. She just smiles, gives you another nod, and says, "Is there anything else that you might require for now? I don't believe you'll be kept waiting too much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if, whether the 4th arrives or not, you'll be called onwards soon to your further meeting. There's not much time left in the day."
Sunsets on everything, I suppose.
And the sun rises.
Well, most of the time.
Sooner or later. Whatever the season. Well, in that case, I will return again soon. And have a peaceful day of reflection in the meantime. And she turns and she heads on out. And
Okay.
as a note, I don't know how many people actually read all the stuff I put in that calendar, but the Day of Reflection is the last day of the year, every year. It is kind of a day set aside when people look back over the past 13 months, recall who they have been, what they have done. It's meant to be a day of understanding, potentially forgiveness, and at the highest ideal, letting go of the past to prepare for the new year to come. This day is immediately before the Day of Resolution, which is always the first of the year. And that is a day to look forward to the year to come, to consider what one wishes to do, to set on the path of becoming. A day for promises, pacts, any oath taken on this day is kind of like superstitiously considered almost supernaturally binding.
Alsana kind of like stirs her coffee just with a stick absentmindedly and kind of looks over. Did you know that the caffeine in coffee is actually a pesticide for the plant?
Oh, it's a very fun fact. I should be using that for my garden when I get back. Oh,
Oh, you garden?
I try. Just a small plot.
But it does raise the question of, well, the people who drink it, and she takes a sip. You have to wonder if there's anything sticking to them they'd like to kill.
Well, I think that makes me ask the question, is there?
Not quite. Why don't you have some coffee and find out for yourself? Actually, maybe don't. It's not that good.
Yeah, coffee keeps me up. Mostly, I would have had some in the morning, but not right now.
Yeah, this isn't like a high quality coffee. This is kind of basic, everyday kind of brew.
She takes another sip and the face scrunches up a little.
Yeah. In the meantime, Kane, you've finished up washing, you fixed yourself up a little bit nicer, you come out, and the other guide is there to walk you back in case you happen to get lost. It's not really a maze of hallways, but they all look very similar, so it would be easy to get yourself turned around a little bit and think, oh wait, did I go right or did I go left?
And at this point,
It all kinda
Kane's
looks-
only got the hand axe and the shield out. The rest of the weapons are stowed away.
Okay. He brings you back, lets you know that, kind of the same as the others, you'll probably not have to wait too much longer, regardless of who does or does not arrive.
And he'll take the third mug of coffee, take a sip, and say, "Not bad, thank you."
Alsana puts a hand over the mouth to hide a smile.
Yeah, Kane, feel free to make an insight check if you want, or just tell us you're passive.
His passive is 11.
Yeah, you might not notice.
That's fine. He just drinks his coffee,
Yep.
coffee happily.
Okay.
Also, just small side thing, real quick. How'd you spell your character's name again?
Calda.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of hard to flick over to the other, the characters, when I'm recording, so it's for the sake of notes.
All right. After a while longer, probably still awkward, there might have been some small conversation that happened. Yep. The person who comes back is not the female, the tiefling-blooded one, but the male this time. No tray, nobody walking behind him. And he simply says, "It's time. It's been long enough. Please follow me."
Oh, you're right. Anyone, we'd be, well, growing mushrooms on ourselves.
He turns, he leads you through more winding corridors, past further doorways. And as you go, you kind of might notice some of them are covered by proper doors of wood and hinges, others just by panels of cloth, whether they are heavy and still or light and fluttering with the motion of your passage. A few you see are actually hung with strings of beads, which make patterns in shape and color, dimming and interrupting your view of the rooms beyond, but not fully obscuring them. There doesn't seem to be any particular pattern to what covers each door. It almost seems to be like some kind of preference to it. You don't really get to like fully explore. You just kind of are whisked along behind your guide. You do pass numerous other members of the Order as you go. Most of them pay you very little mind. There are a few casting more than a few casting just like a curious glance or two at you as you go by. For the most part, they seem to dress simply, in some fairly muted colors, neutral tones. Although you do notice occasionally that some have like brighter designs or more personalized clothing, and most, even the ones that stick to the very neutral tones, seem to enjoy at least a little personal adornment, whether it be as simple as a cloth belt or a simple medallion, maybe some bands wound around the arms. They are not strictly uniform, but they do seem to either pursue or prefer a slightly more Spartan or simple overall appearance or look. Much
question.
like the fortress. Yes. Conrad?
Quick question.
Yes.
What do we know about this order?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Lovely.
Not much.
Whoops.
You know, it exists. It's kind of on this island that's also called Threshold. Maybe one was named after the other. Maybe one was named after the month of Threshold, which it is the last day of, the last month of the year. Maybe all three. It looks like the fortress looks old. Looks like it's been here a while. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a bit far north, and you might not have been the one that was really into like the book learning. So you haven't had any like direct experience with it.
Kind of
Hey,
as
so
I was
yeah.
gonna say, Ruth, as they're walking, just also, this place has been in operation, or at least the group has, for a very long time.
Your guide looks back and nods slightly indeed. Keeps walking.
You have to wonder, something that old, what secrets do they hold?
No clue, but you'll probably find out.
Speaking of
Well,
which,
no,
do you feel
very much
comfortable
would.
with me yet?
Comfortable's a word.
Oh, well then, will you tell me what makes you so lucky then?
I think it's the way I'm born.
What? All the time in the books? You never read the old legends? Even I know a halfling's supposed to be so lucky.
There's kind of a small pout on her face. I was hoping it'd be something more fun.
Sometimes things just are as they seem.
If I were to envy anything simple, or a way of thinking that is simple, yours would be it, but I don't.
All right, we don't need banter right now. We got to go. We gotta go. Oh, I'm going British.
Yeah. You keep walking. Before too long, you reach a staircase of stone which leads downward. And it's not into darkness, it is actually fairly well lit, with these, not torches, not open flames, but kind of lanterns bolted into the walls at intervals. The staircase is fairly wide, it slopes gently downwards in kind of a broad spiral, so you turn with it. It's not this tight tower-like spiral, though. It's fairly gradual as it turns around, but you get the impression that you've gone around one loop in this curve, and then it reaches this opens up into this short hallway, also well lit by the same simple lamps set against the stone walls, and in between each of these pairs of lamps on either side are these decorative tapestries, which depict, somewhat unusually, a kind of woven calligraphy rather than images or scenes. And in many languages on each tapestry down this hall, you read words, and it's one word on each tapestry in calligraphic Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, little gnomish, little halfling at the very bottom. And the words you see are kind of as you go down like 2 by 2 across from each other. You see wisdom, restraint, mercy, caution, knowledge, and vigilance. And at the end of this hall, there is a tall set of double doors cut from wood, sanded smooth and varnished, as unadorned. Here your guide leads you, and here before these doors, hand reached out to push one open. He pauses for a moment. He looks back, and he just nods and says, "Good luck." He opens one of the doors, leading you inside. And the room within is larger than you may have first expected after sitting for so long within what was essentially a waiting area, or in Kane's case, taking a little side jaunt to a small washroom, almost the size of a closet. And this... Oh, we lost Conrad for a second. You back?
It's all good. Yep, just reconnected.
Okay. Alright. This room, however, first there is a small, almost antechamber, and a very short flight of stairs downwards, perhaps 4 or 5 steps. And from there the space opens up into a pillared hall, nearly 100 feet from where you stand to the far back wall, against which is set a raised hallway above another set of stairs. To your left and right, you see another set of open doorways into seemingly empty rooms, only dimly touched by the illuminating lamps set between the pillars framing the center of this larger chamber. A slightly raised dais fills the center of most of the room, pretty much just one step up, and then flat. And then there's another smaller one step up platform in the center of that, maybe like 10 feet square. And on that platform, you see a humanoid figure in pale, hooded robes, leaning on a simple staff, possibly a quarterstaff. It seems unadorned, it seems to be just this straight rod of wood. And he's evidently in conversation with another humanoid, clad in armor. Though the instant the door opened and you entered, the conversation seemed to come to a halt as they turned to look at you. Further behind even them, you see the other guide, the female with the small teeth and horns. And the hooded figure on that secondary dais has the build of, as I said, a male humanoid. But you can tell little else beneath his robes and hood, and his face, it's distant. But even at this distance, at first, it just seems strange, the way that the lamplight catches and reflects so sharply. And then as you start to draw a little closer, you realize that it's covered by a mask wrought of some dark gray metal, with 2 dark holes left for eyes, and formed with the shape of a nose, but without any indication of a mouth. The metal has been etched with parallel horizontal lines, so that it gives the vague impression of bands of iron in the shape of human features. He stands, still and silent, apparently looking at you, but giving no further indication of interest. And real quick, I'll go ahead and pop the art up for you. So you should be seeing that on your screen, hopefully.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, I'll
as
lean
for-
over. Oh, sorry. Just real quick, I'll lead over to the one guiding us, and just is impolite to talk out of turn.
Impolite to talk out of turn?
Yes.
He looks back at you and shakes his head. And at that point, you see the other figure in the room turn fully and almost stalk forward several steps. This one seems to be another, an elf, actually. Young in appearance. If you were to guess, maybe very young adult. She could be as little as the elven equivalent of a teenager. You can't really know for sure. It's kind of hard to pin with the youthful faces. She's got pale hair and skin, and eyes contrasted by dark, burnished, full plate armor. There's a great sword hanging across her back, and she very nearly glares in your direction.
And this was the one who was talking before?
Both of them were talking with each other.
Yep.
They seemed to be in conversation, and then they broke it off as you came in and looked at you.
Oh, sorry.
This one,
Did we
however,
interrupt?
stepped forward. She crosses her arms. So, you're the ones, are you?
Apparently. Your letter said as much.
Her eyes flick over the 3 of you. Isn't there supposed to be one more?
He seems to
Supposed to,
be a bit tardy as it is.
And what good are you?
Questions to be asked of each other.
So, one we can't answer without knowing what we have to do.
Yeah, well, does it matter what you need to do if you can't even all show up all at once? I mean, seriously, you're supposed to be... what? You're supposed to be the ones who are supposed to fix things, save things, and you can't even answer a letter. Or at least one of you can't.
And you're supposed to be the ones calling upon us, and yet you don't understand that we're not a cohesive group, and we don't really speak for the one who's late. So, next time
guess
choose
what?
better recipients of the letter.
I wasn't the one who picked you.
Well, then why'd you glare at me with such beautiful eyes at such a terrible, terrible position?
Because the person who picked you is the person in charge of everything here. And he didn't want to listen to me.
So you figured you'd take your grievances out on us?
You see this look on her face, kind of like you struck a little bit of a nerve, but she covers it with a fresher, harsher glare.
And this this crack of a grin is going up the face.
I don't have to answer to you.
And I don't think we do either, if you're not the one in charge, now do we?
The one in charge is my grandfather. I'm gonna be in charge eventually. So maybe you do have to answer to me. At least more than you think.
Does said grandfather vocalize at all, or are you speaking on behalf?
She kind of glances away. He's not here right now. And you see the masked figure behind her shift forward slightly, and then forward. He seems to keep his voice down. You don't hear very much of it, but even then, it's not as muffled as you think the mask should make it. You hear a very faint, "Grandfather is wise. You should listen to," and you see the younger girl kind of wheel on him then, and I don't have to listen to you either. You are just visiting. You're not part of this.
Ooh, sibling rivalry, how fun.
All right.
And you hear him, "I am part of this, though I am visiting. You know that I am very, very much part of this.
And
You're
S as
just
well.
an emissary. So I am."
I think we got off on the wrong foot there. My name's Kane. What are your two?
You catch their attention. The masked man steps forward, gives you a nod, and says, "For now, my name is not important."
In that case, shall I refer to you as simply emissary?
If you must.
Oh, now I'm terribly interested on what it actually is.
Someday
said
I
for-
may tell you.
That's always someday, isn't it?
Someday eventually comes.
Okay, what about cute and angry then?
We already know your name, Alsana. How about you, Miss Lady?
Aw,
She crosses her arms. Go ahead and do a persuasion check real quick. Just to see how, charming. No. She just turns her face away with a little, Her ponytail kind of flicks as she whips her head around.
you know, your
Okay,
hair
so-
could do with some beads.
I think, for
What,
now, we
and
can
make
just
it
refer to you
look-
as Young Elf? Young Master? What's your preference?
I think her preference is us not being here, but, well, there's an impasse to be had.
And I'm
Well,
not as
that's why I-
young as you think.
Oh, of course not. But I assume since you're the potential future leader, I think young or maybe Lady Master would be better. Just whatever you'd prefer, honestly.
You hear the masked man say, "Her name is Tokumi." will
Alsana,
remain
under her breath, says, "Chief
Actually, I'll-
replacement."
Sorry, could you spell that there, Ariel?
I just showed it to players. It should be on there. Tokumi.
And she's full elf, you said?
She is full elf, apparently. You see the long pointed ears. She is not quite as pale as you. There's a little bit more of like the silvery blonde to the hair, the features, everything. It's not so much the almost stark tone of your skin compared contrasted with like the darkness of your hair, for instance.
And, what of the name of this, wise grandfather, was it?
You wouldn't be able to pronounce it.
Does that mean you can't either?
Alsana,
I
was
can't.
rude.
Oh, then perhaps you may demonstrate.
Miashka Kladu.
Yashka Kladu. Is that it?
Miashka Kladu.
Aw, you're so
And the
na-
masked man says, "Most people call him Claddy."
In that case, I think we'll, at least myself, stick to Claddy as it is. Might I ask what we were summoned here for? The letters didn't tell too much rather than just instruction.
Well, to be very specific, you were summoned to this room to be tested for the role that we hope you will be able to fill.
Are we set
if
to save the
you-
world? Please tell me we're set to save the world.
You're set to save many worlds, if you can prove yourself capable.
Oh goodness, you're serious, aren't you?
Is this not a serious topic?
Uh, no, just well, understand the outsider's perspective on such a sentence. But
I
you've
do.
certainly caught my interest. Are the scales tipping in the wrong direction nowadays?
He gives you, you can't tell with the mask, but there is a bit of a pause. And then he nods to you and says, insightful. That will serve you very well. Or else very good at guessing, which will do just as much.
Hmm.
So, a test. This is one of combat, and your skill therein, because that is going to be one of the things that is going to ensure either you live or you die, you succeed or you fall. And your fall could well be the fall of many more.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
keep in mind.
Keep the shield on his arm at that point.
well, the cycle is as it is, but I'm willing to play a bit.
Keep in mind, this is a testing fight. No fatal blows. Hold back at the last. Try not to be too overzealous, and we will do the same. You will be
Mm,
fighting myself, these two attendants. He gestures to the two guards,
and the
and at
cute
this
one?
moment, Tokani breaks in, and me,
Oh,
and draws
joy!
her greatsword. And there's another moment of tension as the masked, robed figure kind of puts up a hand briefly and then lowers it, like he wanted to object, but then realized maybe he really can't.
Alsana, and just as a side note, if anyone was looking, her left hand had her nails were painted gold, but on the right they're black, and the fingers seem to be a bit stained. And she just kind of slowly reaches a hand into a pocket, pulls out this black ash, and just flicks them, and then the hand lights up. She doesn't throw it, but she's holding it.
Yep. And at this point, Tokani says, it might be a test fight, but I'll give you the one warning. You'd better not hold back. And at this point, I'm going to move you on to another map, and we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
And on that, Alsana responds, "Would you prefer I break your body or your ego?"
Alright, and go ahead, you should have the tracker up. Roll initiative. I'll change the music from our holding theme and go to battle mix.
I take it
Hope this
we're on the
works.
bottom.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't place you this time because last time your things didn't show up. So kind of line yourself up behind your guide there.
Could you just drop me on the map there, Jim?
Yep, 1 second while I bop around various things. You'd be behind everybody?
She'd take a step back. Yeah.
Take a step back. Okay.
Should we take a quick 5 minutes before we start?
Go ahead. If you need 5 minutes, do it, because frankly,
Might
I
as
could
well.
use a few. Yep. As I
Whew.
I'll be right back.
pick
Uh,
up some musics. Because
I am so happy I got all those notes now.
Yeah? Isn't it fun getting to know things?
Oh yeah. It's even more fun preempting some of the NPC's dialogue.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I gave it to you, so you could just jump in and who knows what'll happen. And also so that you guys could talk with each other. And just, build off each other. Oh.
So, Ty,
Yeah.
opinions on Alsana?
Fuck, she talks a lot. Tried to get in a few times there. Holy shit, man. Ooh. One day I'll play a character who rolls well on initiative.
Oh.
Yeah, you got the wisdom to make up for it.
Who, me? Or you?
Yeah, you. I do not have the wisdom to make up for anything.
Mhm.
Oh, goodness, you guys.
Oh,
Oh, Kane.
wow.
Thank goodness for Kane.
Actually, oh, I can't get over to the side thing.
Alright. So just so you guys know, non-lethal fight, of course. Generally speaking, it's kind of hard to do non-lethal attack with something like a spell, or something like a projectile weapon. However, for the sake of flexibility, I'm gonna just probably broadly allow it, and also,
For this particular instance, at least.
for at least this, yes.
It's our first time with the characters. Give us a break.
Exactly. So if you go down to 0, you're just unconscious. Don't bother with death save, you're just... if that happens.
I mean more.
Same with the NPCs.
Alright.
So yes, both sides. Alright.
Alright.
Are we all here and all ready?
Yeah,
Yep.
let's go for it.
Kane, you're up first. These words are dropped. Everybody's going into a ready stance. You see the two guards. The one in front is the guy. He's got out a quarterstaff. The one in the back, the woman, actually seems to be pulling like this net out of the back of her belt. Although she also holds a quarterstaff in one hand. There's a moment of brief tension, and then almost as one, several of you go. Kane, you actually get slight edge on the rest of them, so go ahead and make your move.
Yep. Immediately he charges, draws his warhammer in one hand, and swings first at the guard. Assume that he's always aiming for like the chest or the limbs. He's never aiming for the head.
Okay.
He first says, "Apologies, friend. Thank you for the bread, though."
Alright, 18 to hit. That does hit, and you wallop him solidly. You kind of hear this, and he wavers on his feet, though he still seems to be standing.
Yep, and he's gonna slam the second one into his back as he wavers.
Okay. Yep, and kind of as he stumbles, bending forward from the impact on his chest, you wheel the hammer around and strike down towards his back. You realize at the last that, oh, this could actually knock him down real good, and you shift your hip grip on the hammer a little bit and just kind of just hit him with like the haft of the weapon instead of the head of it, where it's much heavier and bigger. And as he's kind of trying to regain his breath from the initial blow, you hear it, and he just sprawls out in the stone, kind of tries to get upright briefly, and then slumps down and
Kane
as he
will
lies
nod.
there just wheezing. So go ahead and put a little flex on him. He's just out for the count.
Kane will
He's
nod at him and
rolled
go.
off. Yep.
Next time,
Yeah.
keep your guard higher.
You-
He's gonna turn to face the young elf.
Alright. And she is ready for him. In fact, she is, by the time you turn towards her, already swinging. Unless there's a bonus action or something you want to say.
He's waiting for her.
Alright. Then she is going to go ahead and attack with her great sword. 15.
Nope, clatters off the shield.
Alright. She looks a little bit surprised that you brought the shield up that quickly. She thought she was getting the drop on you as you turned around from knocking the attendant, the guard, to the ground. And she wheels the great sword around for another heavy swing and catch it on the shield again.
Yep.
And frustrated, she suddenly surges with energy and you see her attack one more time unexpectedly.
I was actually gonna say before she does that, he's gonna use one of his maneuvers.
Okay, you can use one when an attack misses, yes?
Yep, riposte.
Okay.
So,
So
another
you
swing
can
at
go
her.
ahead and make an attack at the same time. That clatters off of her own armor as she doesn't even bother dodging. She is committed to that final swing into your side. And as you're counter attacking after that one blow, that you caught on the shield, she actually catches you at about the same time with her own sword, but hers actually strikes much harder and in a better place.
He kind of wheezes. Good shot.
And for an instant, you see this light in her eyes. They're still kind of this silvery blue. They're still kind of cold, but they're almost glimmering with a sort of excitement. And she grins, with a great many teeth showing. And that will be her turn.
I'm gonna ask, for the
Yes.
sake of fairness, does she not have a second attack she can use on me?
No, she does not. That was not an action surge.
Okay, just want to make sure.
She was taking it easy, and then when she missed twice, she decided she wasn't going to take it easy despite her own words about not holding back.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep. Thank you for being fair. Alright. Now, let's see. I should put this back on snapping because it did not before. Technically, that one can reach that, cannot reach you, so she is actually going to kind of streak across, run around. She avoids the her companion who had rolled off to the side a little bit and is currently kind of on the edge of the platform trying to stay out of the way and get his breath back at the same time. And as she goes, she unfurls the net that you saw her pulling out just moments before, and she whips it towards you, Kane. That does not hit, though.
He twists it up in the hammer and kind of like flings it off and says, sorry, not a new trick today.
So yeah, it goes off to the side, and she goes ahead and puts her other hand on her quarterstaff and whirls it around towards you, kind of aiming for the shoulder. I'm pretty sure 22 does hit.
Oh, yeah.
So take 9 bludgeoning damage as she takes that moment of motion when you whipped the net off to the side as an opening and just pop, right in the shoulder, a good one. Enough of a thwack to leave a pretty hefty bruise, potentially. And she says, "Good defense."
Good strike.
And that is all. Calda, you are up.
Calda's gonna run forward, take out her glaive, and I love 10-foot reach so much. First one's gonna be at the guard, and let's just see how that goes.
Sure. Unfortunately, that misses. She kind of weaves to the side, knocking the glaive's head aside with her staff. And she gives you a nod as she does.
Okay, she's gonna spin it with her fingers again, take another swing at the guard. Not the guard,
Alright.
but
At the guard or at Tokumi?
at, is that a guard? Yeah, that's the guard.
Yeah. At the guard, the one that knocked to the side. Alright, that time it does hit. I assume that you kind of are whacking with the side of the glaive, not so much stabbing with the point, or else with the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, non-lethal. It's just flavor. You do the damage. It does count. It knocks into her side, and she kind of coughs and.
Calda's
good shot.
Calda's gonna give a little look before going, yeah, good shot, sorry.
Alright.
Oh, damn.
Alright. You, just after she says good shot, you kind of throw this divine light down the length of the glaive, and it flashes in her face. She looks very surprised for a second, and then stunned somewhat. She, wide eyes, staggers backwards a little bit, catches herself against the pillar on her side, and kind of slides down, putting one, dropping the quarterstaff beside her and putting a hand over. Okay, done.
Oh, if you need some healing later, just let me know. Oh.
No, it's good. I'm good. And she waves towards you and just puts the other hand over her eyes.
Okay, and that's called his turn.
Okay. All right. I get to get rid of that sheet. There we go. Because they are out of the fight. This guy. All right. Faster than you might have expected. He actually swings out around your reach, Kane, and then pelts down this corridor and onto this slight step up from the main floor, and almost in a blink, a flutter of robes and speed, he is directly in front of Alsana. Alsana? This masked man has the quarterstaff in his hand, brings it up, and very quickly he raps out twice towards you. Here's once. I'm pretty sure that misses unless your armor class is 13 or lower.
It is 13.
It is 13, so, yeah, you might think that he's about to overshoot, but it actually whacks you very solidly in one shoulder. He brings it around for another one. 18 does hit. 10 bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
And, let's see. He is going to go ahead and... Where did I write this down? Did I write this down, or was I dumb? I might have been dumb and not written that down. Anyway, I know he can do it because he hasn't used anything, so I'll just keep track on a piece of paper. Yeah, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw on that last one.
Alrighty then.
Alright, you are currently stunned.
Great.
And at that point, he actually backs off a little bit. He doesn't move. He used all his movement to get there, pretty much. But he kind of settles back and twirls the quarterstaff briefly, and then holds it in a ready position, kind of tucked behind him under one arm, the other hand palm held up and kind of perpendicular to his body in front of him in a guarding position as he settles in to defend patiently. Alsana, unfortunately, you can't do anything at the moment. You're kind of standing there with stars in your eyes, wondering when the next blow is going to land and where it's going to come from, because that last one was a doozy and your head's still spinning.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Kane.
Alright. So Kane is going to step between Calda and the elf and go protect Al, I got this one. And he's going to first take a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start swinging.
Alright. That does hit. You've actually managed to land a blow so heavy against her armor that it seems to wind her for a moment. She... Alright.
Same strategy, he'll swing the second one at her back.
Alright, this time she didn't bend forward as much. She seems to be made of much sterner stuff than your two guides. She holds her stealth, and as you whip the hammer around towards her back, she just brings up one of her arms and blocks it with the edge of her vambrace, and keeps it at bay.
Nods and goes to skilled young lady. He's gonna action search.
Alright.
So swing again. And with that, he's going to make a go with a fright.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, that is a wisdom saving throw. Let's do this. Oh yeah. Yeah, she saves.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Yep. How do you go about trying to frighten opponents with this maneuver die?
Generally, he aims at the wrist, and then kind of snarls at them to back off.
Yep. So yeah, you do the thing you usually do, and the wrist, the snarl. Unfortunately, the wrist blow doesn't seem to phase her at all, and she meets your snarl with one of her own.
He's kind of taken aback by this and just swing one through her chin.
Yep. All right, that time, yeah, that actually hits there. As you're so startled by this sudden, this young elven girl, pretty much, meeting your somewhat intimidating appearance with bared teeth of her own, you just reflexively, whoop, and you get a, and her chin jerks back and then back down. Is there anything else you want to say or do on this round?
No, he'll just settle back into his ready fight position.
All right. She coughs a little. She doesn't quite spit blood, but you see her work her jaw for a second, and then she kind of rears back and, with a certain amount of ferocity, strikes forward with her greatsword again.
Nope,
That
catches it in
misses.
the shield again.
Yep. Oh god, but
Oh,
that
damn.
does.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Hurt.
Hurt. Okay. She will do one more strike because you just landed a few blows on her and annoyed her. 17?
Yep, catches it on the shield again.
Okay. She looks a little taken aback by that. And somewhat begrudgingly, she says, "Alright, you're better than I thought.
Not the first time been snapped at by an angry elf. Sorry.
But not necessarily that good." And she kind of wheels around you. She doesn't leave your area of opportunity attacks, but she clearly enters Calda's. Oh, I can go ahead and take the guards off. They are done. Alright.
Sorry, there was one thing I was going to add before. that.
Oh, go ahead.
On the last hit, he was going to riposte one more.
Ah. Okay. That misses.
Shame.
Once again, clatters off the armor as you see the opening and you try to take it, but you're thwarted by, like, full plate. There are not that many gaps for you to get into. And before it's Calda's turn, something else happens. Kane?
Yep. Lovely.
A blunted bolt suddenly and strikes you in the back from just behind this pillar as I go ahead and move her onto the token layer. And she actually gets sneak attack.
Yeah, that's me out. Jesus.
Alright, yeah, it doesn't just strike you in the back, it strikes you kind of in the back of the neck as you try to riposte. And
Cross over to the back of the head again.
Sorry, I didn't even think of that. Yep. Okay. We'll just go ahead and put a little like red marker on you for unconscious. And this one is going to, let's see, what is her most useful aspect at the moment? She's going to go ahead and dart forward, and she's going to get on the other side of you, Calda.
Oh, all right.
That'll be all for her. It is your turn. You just saw Kane stab forward, the, not stab, but swing forward, the Warhammer clatter off.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, hold on. Can I do one thing first?
Half orc.
Okay,
Half-orc.
that's right.
Totally forgot about that.
Ah, fair. I will allow it. You think
Sorry.
he's unconscious. No, it's okay. It's good to get used to this first session. You think he's been knocked unconscious. He drops to the ground. He seems to hold still for a while. And then as this other masked figure runs into your space, this one more feminine in form, with the mask almost in a stylized canine shape, perhaps like a wolf or a fox. It's a little hard to tell because of the stylization. Kane starts to stir again, though he is not actually getting up just yet. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
All right. Drop the glaive. Get the great sword off the back, and let's. First one's gonna be at Tokeny.
That hits.
Yep. Then Tokeny. It's hard to hit, so let's drop another smite. That was
Wow.
terrible.
Ooh. Yeah, you've got
That's
radiant.
3 minimum damages. Good lord.
Yeah. Well, the
Amazing.
good news is you can tell from the way you're wielding Radiant that she's clearly not undead or a fiend, but you also can feel that this is a lot less light power than you can normally channel through a weapon.
Oh, goody. The
It
great
just
sword's on the
it
fritz.
doesn't- Yep.
Okay, swing round, see the person who almost knocked out Kane. Give her a little bit of a hit.
That hits.
All right. And then
She
bonus
doesn't
action.
Yeah. This
Yep.
one doesn't seem quite as solid as the other. She's only wearing like studded leather armor.
All right, and then bonus action. Can I prepare a smite as a bonus action? Is that a thing?
If it's not just the regular divine smite, but it's a smite spell like branding or scorching or something like that, yes.
Yeah, I'll prep a branding smite for next
For your next blow.
setup.
Keep in mind that you are concentrating on that.
Yes.
Also, in general, it's better to drop that at the beginning of the turn if you want, so you're not concentrating the whole round.
Unless
Yeah,
you're
it's
planning
Side
to bonus
thing.
action for something else.
Yeah, that too.
It's
Alright.
okay, don't worry.
And it's this fellow's turn. Seeing kind of how things are going, he actually, let's see. He actually, backs off. Falsana is stunned, can't react to anything. He kind of,
Is it the start or end of
charges.
his turn?
End of his turn, which is
Okay.
why Stunning Strike is so nice, because the monk continues to get advantage on the next round.
Yep.
He's gonna go ahead and dart back off, kind of up this way. He kind of has to skirt by, but he can get by his allies there. And he's gonna end up pretty much where he started. And he's just going to stop, spin around there, and drop into his defense stance again and observe how things are going.
And the patient's defense is a dodge action, yeah?
It is a dodge, so yes, disadvantage on all attacks against him.
Alright.
Althana, you shake off the stun. You look around, you see things are going very badly. Kane is on the floor, though he's stirring a little bit. And though the two guards are kind of off to the side, getting their breath back, you see Calda, the little halfling, is currently surrounded.
Alright, so... That's not an option. Well, first she's gonna get on the broom.
Okay.
And just immediately 30 feet in the air.
Alright, you guys see as she pulls the broom off her back, mounts it as if getting onto a horse, kicks off the ground, and from the brush of the broom unfurls and appears two bat wings that go as she flies upwards on it. So you are 30 feet in the air. Alright. As a note, you're pretty near the ceiling. This room is perhaps 30-35 feet tall. So I'll say you're just below ceiling level.
Alright. She is going to... Well, in the air? Ooh. Yeah, she's going to... cast... Healing Spirit on Kane.
Okay. And your healing spirit appears in a little space. If you want to go ahead and freehand a little mark somewhere. Alright. Intangible
zero?
spirit.
I appreciate that help, everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's messed up the thing. Said rolling 2 minus 2 1d6 for some reason.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll it manually.
Yep. I'm just gonna real quick do a mark of it.
Until the spell ends, when you or a creature you can see move into the spirit space for the first time on a turn or starts his turn there. So if you want to just, put it on him.
Just shifting out of the way so he can mark it.
Yeah.
There you go. Terrible,
Is that,
really.
is that a little raven or crow?
Something.
Is it a butterfly? Looks like a butterfly.
Anyways, 1d6, right?
2d6.
Yeah.
2d6?
Or is it 1d6 is when it starts its turn there? No, actually.
Oh, true. I'll just roll 2 though, because I'm going to start my turn next. So
It's
first enter and start. Remember?
Oh. Moves. No, when the creature moves into the spirit space for the first time. I'm gonna say that's a choice that he has to make.
Okay.
Well, anyways, 1d6. Great.
Hey, double my current health. I'm not complaining.
Dice fucking love us right now.
Evidently.
It's not being too bad to me.
Kane.
And I was good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, never mind. No, it's not bonus action.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to say or do otherwise?
Just kind of like wipe the nosebleed and just take me lightly is going to get you, well, not killed, but I'm just kind of floating.
And you hear the reply, "Then prove it," from the man across the room.
She will actually also just move over to here.
Okay. I will allow it. Kane,
Alright.
you've got this fluttering, intangible something above you and around you. It seems to be helping.
Okay.
You're also on the floor.
Yeah, he'll stand up, of course.
Yep.
He'll swing at the rogue, assumed rogue,
Yeah, okay, that does hit.
and he's going to say to Calda, circle around and get somewhere safe.
Okay,
Okay.
nice. So is that as you hit or before?
As I hit.
Okay. In general, probably call out your maneuvers before you roll to hit.
It's like smites. I'm allowed to do it whenever I need to.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Fair. In that case,
Okay.
you can tell I haven't run or played a fighter in that
Yeah, exactly.
thing yet. So okay, Calda, you can use half your speed if you want to use your reaction to do so, without provoking
Okay.
any opportunity.
Yep, she's gonna do that. What would half 12
Uh,
and a half?
Yeah, call it 10.
Okay. Then just yep, back here.
Remember, you can do non-nucleating if you like to.
Let me just check because I wanted to go. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, no, we're gonna do that. Okay, yeah, cool. Thank you, Kane.
Yep, and then he's going to swing one more time at the elf.
Okay. Go for it.
God damn.
Unfortunately. Yeah. You know the drill. Clang!
Yep. He's going to kind of, as he does it, he's going to say to the rogue, it says, "Really got me with that one. Nice job." He's going to settle back with his shield in front.
You hear a little heh from behind the mask, but no further reply. It's Tokeni's turn. She's going to look at you, barely on your feet, though with the fluttering spirit around you. She's going to look at the escaped halfling and the druid far out of reach, honestly. She's mostly looking at the halfling at this point. And she's going to look over to the masked one and say, "He's not even worth my time." And she's going to stalk after Calda. Yes, taking an attack of opportunity if you would like to swing.
Of course.
Yeah. Clatters right off the armor. She barely seems to notice as she strides forward. And Calda, I am sorry, but this is on you.
Okay.
1, 2. Does a 17 hit?
Yes.
And 3. 16?
No.
Okay. So she
So-
slams the great sword into you, kind of the flat of the blade, twice, and then the third time you manage to just whoop out of the way.
Yep, the smite's gone. Not before.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Can you guys get, like, slightly farther away from them, please? Like, either Kane move to the left or
I'm
Calder
staying
move
in
to
the.
the right.
I was staying in the healing spirit.
Yeah, I know. Just okay, then yeah, Calder. Meta, but you move to the right, please. She might yell it over.
All right.
Just over to the right.
All right. Not on left. Got it.
All right.
Kane's like barely got his shield up, and he's just kind of sweating. It's like, I think I know how this goes.
Ah, yeah, you think right. And she does not have advantage on this, but she kind of twirls the dagger to the hilt, swings, but you actually catch it on the shield. And catches her brief, gives her a pause for a brief moment. And she goes, huh. Or maybe we don't know how this goes.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna give up.
Well, good. That's a good sign for you. Well, bye! And she disengages as a bonus action and darts away. Kind of into this side room, and you lose sight of her behind the wall. Though you know she's in there somewhere.
Is that full cover? It looks like half or 3/4 to me.
Actually, found a
half
way.
Cover if you aim. Yes.
I found a way to figure out half and full and 3/4 and all that.
Yeah.
Draw your corners to their corners and the amount of corners that that doesn't intersect anything.
Like snap to corner, and you just.
Yeah. So that one would be a no.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That
Okay.
one would be a yes.
So it's 3/4 then. Okay.
That would be a no. And top one. That would probably it'd be yeah. So yeah, 3/4.
Okay, sounds good. Cool.
It's a cool trick, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the book.
So, yep, she's kind of pressed against the wall in there. You can see a little bit of her. You know she's there. You know where she is, but yeah, that's what you've got.
Does she look
Calder.
prone at all?
No, she's not prone. She's just kind of up against the wall briefly.
Okay.
She's not quite hiding. She didn't have the action for it, but she's on the verge of doing so.
Real quick, Kane's just gonna yell out to Alsana and go, "I'll take care of Calder. Don't worry about me."
Bold of you to assume I was. Oh, there's the
All right.
music.
We don't. Yeah. All right.
Calder.
We don't need fight. All right. We don't need fighting in an actual fight. Okay. Calder's gonna go to the right.
Calder needs to make a Constitution check for smite.
Or she already.
Sure did.
Oh, did you already use it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gone.
yeah.
Smite is gone. The Constitution saving throws are just above that dagger attack.
Yep. All right.
Calder's going to not make that mistake again. Prep Branding Smite again. Bonus action. And
Ooh, much
take.
better damage.
I know, right? Take 2 greatsword swings.
God
Wow.
dang.
Oh my god.
And on that last one, can I do my
You
other
better.
smite?
You better.
Yes,
do
you
need that
can. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Hold on, do you need 2 for that second one, or is she already down? She's
She is not
taking-
down. She's
Okay.
not down. Seems much tougher than the others.
So click that
So I'll
again.
roll another.
Yeah,
I'll roll
so-
another.
Hit again. Because you got
2d7.
16 off of that, plus 7.
Oh, that's like sticking the sword in and like revving the engine.
Ooh, plus 9. So 7 plus 9, that's another 16. You just 32 on that last strike.
So that's 55 in 1 turn. Yeah.
Yeah. She is not down, actually, but she looks far worse than when you started. She actually is looking ragged. Not ragged, but she's looking kind of rough. And she looks surprised by this. The expression on her face is that of, how to put this? It's that of a tiger that's just gotten its tail tweaked by a small monkey.
Calder's gonna look at Alsana and just go, "All right."
Yep, great big eyes, shock that you would dare and that you would manage.
Looks like the ego went first.
Anything else you want to say or do?
Nope, just keep ready because Calder's gonna go down real soon.
Alright. You hear impressive. Very impressive indeed. But I think that it's time to make it difficult again. He darts forward. Kane.
Yep. I know how this goes
Quarterstaff.
too. Meets beats it. Yep, that's it.
Yep. He darts around further. Calda. I'm taking it that misses, because I believe you're higher than that.
Yep, that misses.
And, in a sudden flurry, he strikes with his fist.
Call does down.
Just
Alright.
2d6 with his fist?
There's
What in the fuck?
He has
There's-
a plus 4 proficiency.
stuff going on that you don't know about, and then he darts
Oh, I know.
around to you.
She's 30 feet up.
Ah, that's true. Very true. In that case, yes, he darts around, he looks up, and he gives a little bit of a nod, and then positions himself kind of beside this pillar, away from the others. Alsana, at the moment, you are alone. You've got your healing spirit kind of fluttering around Kane, though you know he's not actually, like, hurt, he's just knocked unconscious. The quarterstaff kind of clonked him a good one across the jaw, and he did a little spin, then fell. Calda is also unconscious.
Is the monk at patient defense at all right now?
No, because he used his bonus action for Flurry of Blows.
Alright. Does hitting someone when they're down, is that doing anything for us right now?
I'm gonna say no in this case, though if you, like, blanket the room with a fireball, then it's gonna be a little hard to flavor.
Alright, okay, in that case, just kind of drawing out of the pouch on the side, this kind of, like, black dust that just switches and changes clear, and an icicle pull in her hand.
Okay.
And she is going to flick it towards, Tanuki. Tokuni, sorry.
Tokuni, yep.
Tanuki.
Tanuki is a totally different thing.
Yep,
Um,
just gonna cast it at 3rd level.
Okay, nothing left to lose, you might as well.
And submit.
I love that.
Okay, unfortunately, the melee spell, the ranged rather spell attack doesn't hit.
Yeah, so
However,
that's not
hit or
no to the
miss.
7.
It explodes, and that's still a DC 15 Dex save for 13 cold damage. So let me go add.
Hold on.
Alright. When you roll damage for a spell, you can increase it by spending dice. Alright, do you want to go ahead and roll the damage? I'll go ahead and do the dexterity save. She fails. The knife shatters against the plate without actually, like, piercing through as it usually might.
If I
But as
can,
it shatters,
as she throws the knife, it just kind of twists into a scythe, a small scythe.
Sure. Is the scythe kind of spinning as it goes through the air?
Yes, you're a
Alright.
weed that's far outgrown its bounds.
Yep. You've got a burst of ice trailing across the breastplate up into her face, and this puff of shards of frozen water and not quite snow. It's too dense and clear for that. And she shakes her head and looks up at you and cracks a grin and says, "Oh, that was a mistake. Ice is my element." She seems unharmed.
You frosty bitch.
Let's see here. Do. Out to around there.
All right. Kane, you are down.
No, he's not.
Then you get upped by the spirit.
I suppose. Go ahead and... It's a little bit wonky because of the whole knockout thing, but sure. I'll allow it. Go.
I mean,
I'm not
healing is
gonna-
still bringing above 0 HP, so.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go ahead and go with it. Roll the 1d6, please, somebody.
I'll do it.
I'm not gonna like go around the entire turn order again. It is Kane's turn. Let's just call it that. Nice, 6 this time.
Kane will stand back up and go, oh, guess you did worry about me. He's going to throw a hand axe at the lady.
All right, go ahead.
God damn it.
You get up, but you're still kind of woozy in the head after that blow, despite the healing spirit. The hand axe kind of slips out of your fingers and across the floor right in front of you.
He'll bite his tongue and haul a second one at her.
Yeah, as she's looking down at that one, she looks up and goes, "What was that?" And that one slams straight into her breastplate. And for a second, there's just
Oh shit! Give me
And
that.
once more, he's going to...
I'm just gonna listen in for now.
Okay.
Okay, hello, John.
Mute yourself if you could.
Yeah. Alright, you're gonna attempt another frighten. Let's give her another wisdom saving throw, and she saves again. She still takes the 8 damage, though, of course, as part of that. You feel that it could have worked, you know, maybe. It was a very unexpected hand axe. Anything else?
He's just got this, like, sad smile on his face. It's like, you people really like hitting me hard, don't you? And he's just gonna keep the shield out and just wait. He knows what's...
Alright. She looks at the revived, again, Kane, the Alsana up in near the ceiling, and she just shakes her head, stalks over, turns the greatsword around, and attempts to clonk Kane on the head with it.
Yep, he's back down. It's like a damn jack-in-the-box here.
Yep. Swipes a couple of times at the intangible spirit, realizes that's not going to do anything, looks up at Alsana and then over at the room, and just sighs, "Shoot her down already!"
Gonna run to the bathroom while that goes on.
Okay. And yes, this one darts out with her hand crossbow. Now you are 30 feet up, but that is still short range, so she'd be over a little bit in order to.
How high are the ceilings here?
I told you about 30 to 35 you were right at the ceiling in
Okay.
order to have space to fly.
Yep, okay.
You did 30 feet up. So yes, it is just within that range. And she is normal attack because she was not hidden. It is not sneak attack, and she misses.
So I'll do like the kind of like just roll off the side and then back up, upright.
Yep. And you hear Tokune, "I thought you were a good shot," and the other one, "Yeah, well, this is a very tricky angle. I don't see you doing much better." And she's reloading the hand crossbow, but yeah, actually, she'll go ahead and now she used most of her movement. She's just gonna stay right there, and she's preparing for another attack. Calda is currently down. This guy. He can get over there, but he cannot get up to you, of course. So he's gonna actually go around about that far so that he's on the other side. And you see him, let's see, yes. Holding the quarterstaff in one hand, he draws a couple of darts held between his fingers in the other hand, and one at a time he slings them upwards at Alsana. That hits.
That will hit.
Yep. His healing spirit concentration, remind me. Alright, go ahead and give me that cons check, please. Con save.
That was 6 damage.
DC 10.
Oh no, I was just marking it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cons check.
Alright, the spirit is still up. However, there is one more dart attack. 18 to hit, 8 damage. 8 damage. That's another constitution save.
Yep. 8 damage.
Alright, you're holding on to that spirit. He will go ahead and Well, he could have done something else that would have been interesting, but too late now. He's going to go ahead and use another key point for patient defense. Alsana, what do you like to do?
Decisions. Let me double check how something works. Yep, she's just gonna give a sigh and go, Kane, I want to rely on you. Not particularly, but I'm disappointed nonetheless. She'll fly around to here. And drop Healing Spirit. Because this ain't working.
Oh well.
And instead, we're gonna...
Okay. So you've got Call Lightning. What point would you like? Not that it probably matters, 60-foot radius, but
Right
you
there.
know, right there. So,
Well, in for the cloud, like, yeah, about the middle there.
yeah. So the 60-foot is pretty much the whole room. You know, for the purposes of anything, it's the whole room.
Yep.
You have filled this chamber with a storm.
Yep. And
So you're flashing the bolt down to the corner right next to Tokeni.
Yep.
All right.
And just kind of she'll just like in the pocket throw the dust in the air and it'll just like disperse and get heavier into this cloud.
Aha. And she fails
An evergreen,
her...
huh? Well, if cold won't do it, then a lightning strike is sure to take down a tree.
All
And-
right. You see her try to dodge, but she doesn't quite expect this new angle of attack, and the lightning shatters against the stone, streaking over her, especially in her full metal plate armor.
I should have said it before, but yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold, I forget. Let me check if Harvest Scythe is during R. Because...
I think you at least have to say before the saving throw is success or fail.
I don't think so. It's when I roll damage, and technically you roll damage after you check if it hits.
It's
roll
kind
before
of
if it's
weird.
Basically, will you let me or not? Throw another 1d10 on there.
I'll let another 1d10 happen.
5.
Okay. Alright, are there tiny scythe shapes to the lightning too quick to see?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. The lightning curves, kind of like the blade of the scythe. How's that?
Sure. Yep, just
Okay.
just it arcs around the neck and kind of pulls upwards. Still standing?
Alright. Kane, 1d6. You pop back up.
Nope.
Nope,
I
it's
dropped
gone.
Healing Spirit
Oh, you did.
for Call Lightning.
That's right.
He's snoring
Kane.
away happily.
Yeah, Kane, I'm sorry.
His nose is very bloody, so it's a loud snore.
Yeah. You see Tokuni. She seems to be getting frustrated. And there's just a hint more of a snarl on her features. And she says, "That is it!" And you see her reach up and grasp, as she stalks forward, this amulet hanging on a chain around her neck. And with a surge of magic, she goes around to this pillar. You see her activate something in the amulet in just a brief moment. And there's this frosty energy that crackles up into her throat and neck, up her jaw and around her mouth. She draws in a deep breath. And in a 30-foot cone.
Hey.
Yeah.
Does you?
Make a constitution saving
Doesn't
throw.
matter.
Okay.
Is it half?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it doesn't matter.
Yep. Frost streaks out,
Hey guys,
and coats across you. Yes.
I think we were supposed to lose. I think.
Nah, we had a
And as
chance if I didn't
you-
get stunned at the beginning.
And as you spiral towards the ground, you hear a sudden call of, "That's enough!" And this crack. And then everything is still and quiet. And slowly you blink awake. You're still in the same room, but things have calmed. You've kind of been pulled together onto the dais here. The two guards are up. They're kind of checking you over, but you seem to be fine. Give you a
Kane will do
couple
the
of
thing where he
pats
just
on the
like
shoulder.
blows the blood out of both nostrils.
Yep. Tokani is kind of she is actually up on this stairwell here, talking.
Black dust
to
goes up. Everyone's wounds heal a bit.
All right. Yeah, given that it was at least supposed to be non-lethal, there's not a lot of wounds per se, but everybody's been battered around a good bit, so I'm sure it is very appreciated.
Kane will stand up and walk over to the guard he knocked out and go to shake his hand. No hard feelings?
Don't worry, I've taken blows in training. Yours were very quick and heavy. I can see why you're supposed to do this.
I mean,
Well,
say that, I'm not sure why
whatever it
these
is.
three aren't the ones doing it. Seems like they're quite a bit more skilled than we are.
By the way, there is the masked woman. And on the raised hallway at the far back of the room, speaking currently with Tokani, and despite like the height differences, this other figure is very short, though perched and balanced on this crooked cane or walking staff. He is almost as tall as the elven girl. She looks somewhat ashamed as they're speaking, but their voices are too soft for you to hear. And as you wake up, they glance over, and as Kane gets up and speaks with one of the guards, you see this figure, this gnome, in not robes, but a blue outfit, curiously cut and designed, and this hat with a almost ridiculously wide brim and long, floppy, conical top. Trailing behind him, hops down off his staff and kind of tapping along, carrying it in one hand, the other hand holding a smoking pipe that trails almost a greenish smoke behind him. You see this fellow come down the stairs towards you.
With the name of Gesundheit.
He comes down. I'm sorry about all that. That was a bit more intense than it should have been.
Hey, challenge is always good.
Indeed, indeed. I'm glad you have that attitude, son. Gonna need it.
Kind of grin
Why'd
goes
I
over
ask?
Osana's face for a second. Just, what's wrong, Blondie? You didn't go full tilt all the way at the start.
This time Tokani doesn't seem to rise to the bait. She just kind of shifts away, and after a pause, just heads down one of the side halls and out of sight. You can't see her anymore.
Okay, kind of quick call over. You're breaking my heart, dear.
Yes, well, she's still young. You gotta forgive a little bit, but I gave her a talk. Don't worry.
Oh, no need. She
She's
set the challenge, followed the rules, seems like.
She wasn't supposed to be involved. It's not really her challenge to set. It was more these two, and he gestures towards the two masked figures. One is standing. The monk of the two is kind of standing against the side, the quarterstaff now across his back, strapped on, kind of like some of your longer polearm weapons among the party might be.
Or the broom. Chains is not visible.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Caldas, and then the broomstick for Alsana. He's kind of got his hands clasped in front of him. He's standing still, upright, calm. The other one, the rogue, is kind of leaning against the pillar there casually, with one leg kind of propped up and the foot against the pillar. Looks over, kind of waves a hand. No hard feelings, right?
Oh, none. Not at all. What's your name, by the way, if I'm allowed to ask?
Somehow I think that's against the rules.
In that case, shall I just call you, Quiet?
I've had worse names.
There's rules.
Can't imagine why. Can't imagine why as he rubs the back of his neck.
Yeah, no reason at
I'll call you
all.
Quiet and Venom.
Yeah, you're not quite here yet. But
Yeah, no,
as
I'm not.
you're about to be. As this is happening, actually, yeah, you're a little hard to make out. Is it a poor microphone connection or something?
I might need better headphones. Just give me a sec.
Okay.
I just have them turned down, that's why.
Oh no, it's not just quiet. It's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit
Oh, the
walkie-talkie.
quality's not bad.
Quality's terrible
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it's walkie-talkie
Okay,
for me.
yeah, just give me a sec. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly. So we'll give him a moment.
Kane's just gonna look at the old man and he's gonna go, I take it your body.
Oh yes, some call me that.
I would try to call you by your name, but I fear I make a fool of myself.
I think I've almost got it.
There you are.
Nyashka Kladu?
Close. Miashka Kladu. There's an M at the front.
Ah,
Wrong nasal. But you were very close. Well done. An inquisitive nature and the adventurous spirit is a good sign. So, I watched the test, though I did not interfere until the very end when my granddaughter went a little far.
It's only as equal as we gave to the guards.
no,
true
it
enough, true enough.
seems she had some things to work out. I'm glad I could help in the therapy.
It goes a little deeper than that, but we'll keep
Oh,
working
I know.
at it. Still, I imagine that
Speaking
you
of
are
going deeper.
wondering. Yes, I imagine you're wondering why you were called here.
I mean, I've been told to make a good punching bag. Probably famed through all the lands.
Heard something about saving the world.
The scales are off, are they?
Oversimplified, but true. Oh, there's getting right to the heart.
Which one did
You
it?
two, if you would please. And the two guards nod, almost bow, and they turn, and they actually go ahead and they leave the room entirely. They're actually no longer inside the doors. I just don't want to take them off from that. So, where'd you hear of scales, miss?
Oh, just standard creation mythology, stuff like that. Though I have to ask, if you're asking us to throw ourselves against it, it's going a bit against the cycle, no?
Oh, no. It's not that. Scales, yes. Good, evil. They tip, they turn. All rights itself in the end, but sometimes, things go a little too far.
Ooh.
Things go a little too powerful, a little too hands-on. It's why, it's one of the things talk. Not yet 100. She's young, impressionable. Hasn't quite learned the patience of standing back and holding the line.
I trust she'll learn it eventually. Everyone
She
does.
will. She will. But she's got a long, long road ahead of her. Well, we all start somewhere. As for you, however, you're starting perhaps here. You see, it's hard to explain everything
Well,
We
which
don't even know everything.
one did it? Sarkonis? Takhisis? Chemos? Please tell me it's Chemos.
Ah, you're aiming a little high there, miss.
Ah,
Wasn't... it's
cults
not none
around
of the
them?
gods. It's none of the gods, and if they or their followers are involved, we have not found any concrete evidence.
Oh, I hope it's Chemos.
It's more a very powerful mortal that may have crossed some lines. We don't have details yet, though we're finding them. We just know that it's coming. And not many do know this. We just have resources that others tend to lack. We try to keep an eye on these things, you see. Both a long time ago and very recent. We suspect it started a long time ago. Centuries, even.
Aye.
Maybe even the beginning of the era. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. We're behind.
This group would have been there to see it, no?
Well, yes. Most of us. In some incarnation or another. A bit before my own time, I'm afraid, but, as you go. People live, people die, people are replaced and move on. But that's enough of the structures. Too many. And the moment of sadness passes over his face, which has been kept fairly jolly despite the topic of conversation, and then he seems to shake it away and bring a little bit of a smile back. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. The point is, this thing is coming, but it's big. It's beyond most of us. And we'd rather not have any cataclysms, as I'm sure you understand, being parts of this world and all, and frankly, the danger spans more than this one. Just this one. So, while unfortunately this is just the sort of thing that we can't, or at least shouldn't, get involved in too directly, for the sake of precedent, if nothing else, we can bring up and send along agents. The trick is finding the ones with just the right potential. And we think, the points at each one of you, that you got that spark we need. Don't ask us how we know.
I will.
Trade secret.
I'll find it out.
Someday. Not today. Someday I'm sure you will.
It's always someday. Is there anything you're willing to tell us today other than vague kind gestures about impending doom?
Absolutely. I can tell you how to seek out power, strength, to protect yourselves, to protect others, to avoid another situation like the one, or at least to mitigate it, make it less likely. There are shrines of power throughout this world. This valley of Mageria holds several. And in general, these shrines impart minor power onto those who visit. Little boosts to physical health, mental prowess, inspiration, restoration, peace, well-being. However, there are ways to draw more from a shrine, long kept safe and secret by the Order. No knowledge has been known to slip out and slip away from us. These ways are difficult, requiring precise timing and knowledge to achieve. The only way to go about this is to visit a shrine on the night of a full moon. Between the last and the first day of every month by our calendar. And there you speak an incantation imploring the gods of magic who created these shrines, secretly, after the creation of all the worlds, to visit the shrine's power upon them. Roderick! He snaps his fingers and the masked man straightens up. If you would show them the map, please.
Roderick,
Give
is
them
it?
what they need. And the man nods. Comes forward. And there's not really furniture in here. There's not really a table, but he goes up to the dais, sits down just before the edge of it, and motions you guys to kind of hop off and do the same. And on the floor there, he spreads out a relatively simple map of the world. I'll go ahead and move you back onto it. And on this map, he takes a pen, a quill, but no pot of ink. And instead he seems to like twist something on the top of it, so that it just pretty much fills itself, self-inking pen. And he begins to sketch little, almost runic marks on various parts of the map. A few of these are purple in color, some are red, some are blue, and yes, one is on the Isle of Threshold itself. And as he does so, he begins to explain. These are the location of the shrines. Most of them are vague in general, things that the Order has either lost track of over the centuries, or, curiously, sometimes the magic has been known to shift and move. However, we do know the exact locations of these, and he takes a little yellow and he puts little dots next to Threshold, of course, next to the one in the Emerald Fields, next to the Moor Marsh, and yes, next to the Green River. We know and protect them. The others, unfortunately, you'd have to search out and find.
Ooh.
However, the first one that you'll have to worry about is, of course, right here, and he taps the Threshold one again. The Order has guarded it long. Its minor properties are, of course, well known, as evidenced by the crowd outside at this very moment. However, you are going to visit a deeper portion of it, an underground cavern where water collects and pools from the font above. And there you're going to receive your first blessing should you wish to undertake this journey.
So what happens if we say no?
He rolls up the map. You go on your way. You don't know the incantation. You might be able to search for it, but it only really works in the last year of an era, so time's limited. We don't want to see you go. You might be our greatest hope. Things get difficult if you don't, but we can't force you, and we aren't going to.
Then would you at least be willing to divulge part of the reason you kind of picked us out of a crowd? I mean, you've talked of the little spark and stuff like that, but...
Some people in this world have a potential, one way or another. We have particular knowledge that lets us suss out some of those with that potential. Not all, not always.
What's the particular knowledge, though?
Fate, in a sense. Or maybe more destiny. You choose what you do, after all.
Oh, today's a fun day.
There are possibilities in this world. Paths taken and paths not. And when the possibility exists for a path to high power in one manner, the possibility exists in another. You bear that possibility.
So does that mean our big threat, have they been going about doing this tactic as well?
Unfortunately. So, you'll understand that while we're doing our best to hold ground, time is of the essence.
Now, if we were to, rip the power out by its roots, is that shrine just simply done for, or...?
For the time being, yes. It'll eventually recover. Shrines have been visited in the past, at the turns of eras. You've probably heard of heroes or great evils that have risen, and, well, the eras are a time of heightened magic. That would be one reason why.
Hmm.
Might be the reason why we count out eras in blocks of 999 years. It's precise in that way.
And so let me guess, there is a even bigger shrine that requires the turn of the century to get all of it, and you'd like us to go around, collect all the smaller bits, and beat the big threat there to it.
Interesting guess, but wrong.
Aw.
You're not going to have time to collect all the smaller shrines. There are 13 in this valley alone. We can't spare that much time. Plan to reach only 7 at best. Plan to return here no later than the start of Tree Blaze, the 8th month. Maybe sooner, should anything urgent happen and we need to send a message. Plan your route carefully. Give yourselves plenty of time to search for what is lost. Consider your best strategy of powers to gain, because certain shrines are bent towards the physical, others towards the more esoteric, and a few can serve both.
Do those runes signify as such?
The colors do. The ones I've marked in blue, they tend to benefit the mind, the senses, your strength of will, spellcasting. The ones in red benefit your health, your longevity, your strength, your speed, your resilience. The ones in purple ink, either or. Each individual taking part can choose. In addition, how much power is imparted is inversely proportional to how many people take of it. If
And
one of you on that night of that moon takes of the shrine, you gain a great deal of power. If 3 of you go in, proportionally less per person, but still a enormous help above and beyond what a mortal might achieve in such a short time at such ease.
And is Mr. Doomsday working alone?
We have reason to believe he is not. Or she or they. It's a shadowy
mentioned-
process.
You
Yes.
mentioned the shrines do recover, right?
They do. Eventually. But you aren't going to be able to just sit on top of one and take from it every month. Once it's done for the year, it is done.
Oh, that's not what I thought. Why not a scorched earth pattern? Every time we take it, we break down the shrine, it recovers when it needs to. But till then, the
No.
shadowy figure you mentioned can't.
No, once you draw magic from it, that's it. And for the
Nothing we
most
should
part,
avoid then.
not necessarily, not that we know. You might want to be cautious if you try to cross or go to the one in the Emerald Fields. We might know that one's existence and location, but it's also an area currently embroiled in war. Releg and Umbar apparently have been knocking horns for a couple of years now. Some of you might not be so aware of it, living farther from this portion of the country.
Alright.
The advice is appreciated. Thanks.
And where all you could find?
You are the ones we chose. You are the best we could find. The best hopes we thought we had. And still think. You did very well, actually.
Are you sure?
If Tokeny hadn't insisted on getting involved, you probably would have done much better.
Speaking of old cold breath, why not her, or any of these two? Less of the spark?
At this point, Claddy speaks up. She and I are of a different path. We should not get involved the way that you can. For personal reasons.
You can't just drop that and not expect me to ask what they are.
We are not like you. How old do you think I am? I'll give you that. How old?
Are you a founder?
of the order itself.
Hmm.
Lass, do you know how long the order's been here?
Well, you leave a question open like that. Okay, insight this.
You can go ahead and insight, and in fact, you can go ahead and make a history check as well.
Alright.
Kane's just gonna tap his chin and say, random guess, 999.
Alright. Yeah, not the best history, but you know that the Order has been around, again, for a very, very long time. Like, longer than just this one era. There are references to it from, like, the era before.
Alright.
Possibly even hints of legends that might indicate it before that.
Okay.
As for insight, he's got this almost mischievous expression on his face, twinkling eyes, but there's a deeper gleam behind them. He seems to want to see what you guess. And he seems like he's about to tell you potentially, but he wants to play with us a little bit. So
Alright.
Kane has guessed 999, and he's gotten kind of... no, lad. What do you take me for? Oh, sorry?
317.
Ooh, sharp. I believe that's actually pretty close to what I tend to go by. And he kind of scratches his head for a second, just as if he's trying to, like, mentally review as the DM looks up her own stuff.
Well, then why are you playing the game if you always make up your age?
Oh, well, you
So
know
you
how
always
old...
win.
You know how long gnomes live and all? No, I think I go by something just under 300. Yeah, I go by something just under 300 at this point. But you know, it's how long a gnome can live, isn't it? 300, 350. Some might push 400 if they're lucky to get that old. No. I've been head of this order for, actually, you lad, Kane. Not too far off, though, a little on the nose if you're guessing exactly the length of the order. For this
John
era.
at least.
No, I've headed the order for the entirety of this era, plus a few decades at the end of the second. I think I'm about 1300 and something, not yet 1350, but getting close there.
Kane
Any
will lean
guesses?
down to the halfling and be like, I think you owe me a coin now.
Unfortunate.
So what's the secret
see
to
him-
your
you
youthful vigor?
See him puff on the pipe for a second, and he breathes out this cloud of smoke that elongates into this stream, and then coagulates into the form of a dragon. Long serpentine, wings unfurling. For an instant it's in the smoke and then scatters away in the air.
Oh,
Hangs as
that's
a
not
haze.
your usual shape, is it?
But what's a shape?
I know the feeling.
I expect you do.
Also
Let's see.
explains the, well, the powerful mouth on the other one?
Ah, yes. perhaps I should have shaved that amulet as a gift until she actually turned 100. It's a little early, maybe.
Is that why they call you grandfather?
Eh? Tell me, did you assume that she got my good looks? And he kind of strokes his beard.
I see the eyes. I like the
Ah,
eyes.
not many do. Thank you.
But, is it just you, or is it the others? Are you at liberty to say? You're probably not.
As in, of the Order?
As
Nah.
in, of a dragon.
Me, my granddaughter. But no, just us. The rest of the Order are like you, humanoids. Not so bound up by threads of fate, I suppose.
And the look of a full elf allows the, age difference to be less of an issue?
Got it in one, gives you a wink. We tend to pick our long-lived forms, but, eventually there's got to be a little bit of a change, got to be a little bit of a turnover.
Well, you say extra power.
I do. And you'll have your very first taste of it tonight, if you like.
Oh, it's just a fun thought. Who knows, I might be there to see your wonderful granddaughter to at least 200, maybe 300.
That could be a thing. That could be a thing. I'm sure she'll mellow with age a bit. I know I did. As nearly sharp in my frost as she was when I was her age. But even we learn as we live.
Can Alsana make a check to know what what dragon is Frost?
Sure, make it a nature. Yeah.
25.
Yeah, you know the general list. You're pretty sure from what you know of dragon types that these two are not chromatic white dragons. You're pretty sure that silver is the theme you're seeing here in a lot of the coloration and the eyes.
Yep. Oh, it's a silver blue in the eyes. I get it.
Yes, well. You see, my type and hers. We are not so free, I suppose, in some ways, as you. We tend to be, we tend to run in our own little grooves. We are set. We are on a track of a kind. We still have our free will. We still have our choices we make, our own personalities, and he gestures towards the stairwell where Tokeni went and has not reappeared. But, well, there's certain places that we can't, shouldn't go. Things we can't or shouldn't do.
Unless you incur the ire of certain entities?
No, not even that. You see, in this way we could very well jump in, wings flapping, teeth bared, fire, ice blazing from our mouths. But if we do it once, what's doing it again? And again, and slowly gathering and grasping. Maybe someday controlling. No. Best to keep it out of the claws a little bit.
You don't want the balance to go too far on the other side, and you don't want to jump and flap over to the other side of the scale either.
Balance is rather the problem. See, long before there was the Order of the Shadowed Threshold, there were the Keepers of Balance. Order just much like our own now, in some ways. Overall hopes and dreams for the world, keeping things going, keeping things safe, even. grand, noble ideas. But slowly over time, those noble ideas got a little skewed. You see, you start with, this is under my protection, and then it becomes, this is under my protection, and so it is mine. And then it becomes not just, I stop the threats that rise from taking, to, I stop the threats from rising. And there's the question, isn't it? If you could know, or if you could assume, or suspect that some little baby out there, some child, some innocent farmer, or soldier, noble, call it what you will, someone who hasn't done anything yet, has the potential to do something terrible, has a potential to go down a bad path, but hasn't set foot yet, what do you do with it? Do you lock it up forever? Do you kill it outright? Can't take the path if it doesn't exist. And so things got dark. And the balance fell by its very keepers. And so they had to fall. And when the order came up from the ashes, well, we have to do things differently, don't we? Repeating history and all.
So instead of stopping them, you push them on their merry way.
No, we let things happen. For the most part. Until something happens too far in a terrible direction. Then we might give some with the tools they need. And trust that it won't go horribly wrong. Keep it out of our... and he makes a little claw motion with his hand.
So then, if the scales were in the other direction, would you be willing to do the same?
Not so much. You see, the directions are different, in a way. One is much, much easier to see happen, and more immediately destructive. You call it good, you call it evil, let's go with that. Let's say evil rises. Typically, it comes with a lot of death, doesn't it? Tends to consume and control, not guard and protect and
There's
nurture.
a slow grin going across her face, oddly enough.
Yes, and while the other side can be as bad in the long run, something that is nothing but nurtured, does nothing but grow, can soon overwhelm and engulf and starve itself by becoming too big for itself. It's a slower process, it's less likely, and so we worry about it less.
In that case, what side of the scale are we on?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
Which side do you want to be on?
Well, frankly, I'd rather be the one who balances in the middle.
It's a good choice.
Alsana is like off to the side, kind of laughing.
Kane is intentionally ignoring her.
Alright, miss.
Oh.
Share the amusement. I like a good chuckle.
So you're telling me that it is much easier to fall to the side of the evil than it is the good?
In many ways.
Oh my goodness. That was just a thought I had. A vague view thrown on by looking at the place around me. And here a silver dragon stands telling me I'm right on the money. Oh, you have made my day, sir. I think as thank you, I'll join your little crusade.
And he nods and thanks, a little smile under his beard, and looks at you, Kane, and Calda.
Keno, look at Calda.
This is to protect, of course. course, I want to balance something. This is to protect.
It is absolutely to protect. If this grows too big, it'll consume this world and others, many planes.
Yes, sir, I live to protect, so I think you know my answer.
You, young
This-
man?
Yes, Kane. Do answer.
Kind of shrugs and says, "Will I be able to return to a peaceful life afterwards?"
If you so choose.
Could make for a good time, and someone's got to make sure Sis over there doesn't tick off the wrong person. Sure thing.
Oh, if only your 14th birthday you could see you now.
I wish I could see the same kind of improvement for you, but I guess living longer means it takes you longer to get there now.
I suppose. Maybe I'll find it later on. But maybe I'll just extend it a bit more. A new world's been opened up to me and I want the time to explore it.
Speaking of explore, once we get this shrine done here, I do have a boat. Might help us get further faster, and I
You have a
think it
boat.
might be best to retake. Oh yeah, it's part of the job, you know. My thoughts is, moving forward, we start from the most distant. We still have the time, so if we need to rush back at any point, we'll be closer to get it done.
You'll have time to plan. For now, we'll room for the night and little time to rest, and then you'll be down to the shrine.
Might
And
I
at that
ask-
moment, you hear on the great doors.
Oh,
One moment.
I can hold it for a second.
Yes, and the door creaks open, and you see one of the two guides, the guards, pokes her head in, and she says, I'm sorry, but it seems the fourth has arrived. And she pushes the door open, and in walks a half-elven man, darker hair, streaks of grey, with a beard on his face.
Are you the one we've been waiting with bated breath for?
John, if
I
you'd like
suppose
to,
so.
yeah, if you'd like to give your character a more thorough description, go ahead.
Yeah. He's just under like 6 foot. He's a more lean, athletic build rather than like being anywhere near like scrawny or overly muscular. He wears studded leather armor, and he has sort of a more grizzled kind of look. He has green eyes and a bit longer hair, and yeah, looks a little older. But yeah, that's the gist of the appearance anyway.
Well, I hate to say you missed all the fun.
I had some matters to attend to.
Don't we all?
And, what's your name there, fourth one?
Alaris. My name's Alaris.
Nice to meet you. Kane.
Good to meet you as well.
Gotta walk over, go to shake his hand.
Yeah.
I'll suddenly lean over to, Nyash Kladu. Damn it. I'll get it.
Yash.
Claro.
Yeah, and just, do we have to go through the whole ordeal again? Were you given a bridge version? Do we have to be here for it?
No, I'll give the explanation. You go ahead and go along with Ivana and Alden.
Real
They'll
quick,
show you
might
the
I
way.
ask where your granddaughter got off to?
She's in one of the side rooms. Don't worry about her.
Oh, I find her terribly interesting.
If you do, she could stand to have a friend.
I've known types like her.
Indeed. Tell me, do you know how to get through to them sometimes? Because I might remember a little bit of the sharp frost of youth, but ooh, it's been a while.
Mm, I'll have to get a feel for her, but mm, depending on it, coaxing and, well, stubbornness usually works out.
Well, I think that I might be in good positions. And he leans back and puffs on his pipe a little bit.
Hmm.
But go on then. Shoo, shoo, shoo. You young man, this way. And he beckons to Ilaris.
Quick question.
Oh, yes.
If you don't mind my asking, is there an armory we can take a pick from, by chance?
Not really in general so much of the armory, but there's a few martially type shorts in the order, so we can see. But just to warn you, there's just gonna be a lot of standard issue stuff.
That's alright, I'm just looking for a few arrows.
Alright. That we could probably provide you with.
No rush if you can't.
You'll get them in the morning, just don't worry about it for now. But we'll remember, thank you.
Sounds good. Well, I wish you a good night then.
Yeah, good night, and good luck tonight with the shrine. Speaking of which, I better explain things to you, and he's just gonna sit down and run Ilaris through everything.
Yeah.
And perhaps
Well,
John
we-
can watch the video on demand later.
The most
Yeah.
pertinent points. I'm pretty sure you were listening for
Yeah, I'll
the
take note.
conversation.
I was listening. It's just
So, yes.
I'm probably gonna have to watch the VOD later and take notes.
That's fine.
For
Yep,
once.
You pretty much get the most pertinent information out of that. You might not know about the dragon bit, but you know about the threat, you know about the shrines, you know about kind of the having to pick and choose where you go when you've got a bit of a time limit.
Yeah.
Just as a broad overview. But after a while, well, first, the trio that were there first, you are led to not the same room where you waited for the first portion of this day, but another space to rest and recuperate in. It's a smaller set of rooms this time. Kind of a pair of dorm rooms, each with 2 bunks in it, surrounding and attached to a single common area, with a kind of this washroom off to the side with, again, the basin, a few towels, a cake of soap, a pitcher of water, and kind of a little brazier to heat the water in the basin with. It's still kind of bare, a little Spartan, but it's still like decorated with a few potted plants. It's made a little bit more homey by those.
As they're just
it's
kind of
comfortable.
being led, Alsana might tap the kind of guard leading them on the shoulder. It's like, could you trouble me for the do you know where Tokuni is staying?
Well, she has her own rooms, sort of on one of the upper floors.
Any particular indication of it?
Well, if she's in there, then I could lead you there and we could knock and see. But if she's not, then if you'd like to talk to her, I could just bring a message and have her meet you here. Probably be quicker.
I don't know if she'd. Sure, why not?
All right. Do you want to give me a spoken message or a written one?
I'll write real quick. Just so she doesn't
Alright.
immediately turn it away before she hears it. And she'll just
Oh.
kind of like out from her back, take out a piece of paper.
While she's writing, Kane will just be like, careful what you allow that one over there. She's been known to get a little obsessive, let's call it. Certain people she finds interesting.
You wouldn't know. And starts writing a message. And
Okay.
I'm just thinking how she'd word it.
All right. If you want to word it, like over the next week, you can. We should probably wrap this up
Yeah,
fairly soon.
that's what I was gonna ask.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and save that for now. Don't worry about
Alrighty.
it. Eventually, Elaris, you are brought up as well into this same common area. You kind of get a little bit of time to talk with the others.
Yeah.
They look like they've been beaten and bruised to hell and back. As they're resting up. May not be so bad because there was a little bit of healing going on.
Alsana might have healed herself some more to make herself look presentable. So.
Kane
Okay.
would have taken a bath first to clean off again.
And,
Okay, so a few bruises here and there.
And
Yeah.
when Alaris it was,
Yeah.
when he kind of like makes it there, Alsana is like right in front of him. It's like, so you're the late bloomer, is it?
Yes.
Tell
Never
me,
would've
do you
said
have
that
any
if I said-
dead loved ones?
No.
All right.
No.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from fuck, I forget the name of the town.
Walton. Here, I'll
Walton.
go ahead. I'll
Walton.
go ahead and put it
Yeah.
on your map. We'll say that he
Yeah.
goes ahead and writes it on the map if this thing lets me.
Walton. Right here.
If I can just.
I'm
It's
look-
not letting me.
What area is it about?
There. Right there.
Yeah, deep thicket.
Like-
Yeah.
Kind of
Marched.
right between Soren Wood and the Drake Run. I just stuck it in there, so.
All right.
Do you mean between
Blythe Marsh and
Sornwood
Sornwood?
and the Blythe Marsh? Yeah.
The Drake Run is actually the name of the river. Blythe
Ah,
Marsh
okay.
is between the Frost Run and the Drake Run.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Oh, so you're pretty close. What took you so long?
Well, Walton has a bit of a overlying issue that I've been having to deal with over the past
Go on.
while.
What's the issue?
We live
Civil unrest?
No. We live near the Sorenwood, obviously, so we have blight problems.
Oh. Oh. Oh, don't you just interest me. All right. Tell me, are you good at slaying them, then? I assume you were tied up.
Yeah, yeah. Had to make sure my wife and son were safe.
Ooh, okay, so you're stopping the dead loved ones. Good to know. And a son, too. Do you love him?
More than anything.
Was he on purpose?
Yes.
Lucky man.
Oh, wouldn't you know about that, brother?
Yeah, I can appreciate a man who sticks by his family, you know? It's a respectable thing to do.
A bit envious?
A little bit, aren't you?
Not quite.
Maybe one day when you settle, you will be.
How old's your kid?
He's what do we agree on, Ariel? Like 11?
He was born in 987.
12,
So
yeah, 11.
Yeah, 11, 12. Yeah, he's like 11 years old. 11 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you're quite the experienced father then. Huh.
Yeah.
And you truly love your son dearly?
Yes.
And you're off on this hero's quest to keep the family and the home front safe against this rising evil.
Yes.
Tell me more about the blight later then. And she kind of walks off to her room.
I'll kind of just look at him and go, sorry, she's a bit odd when it comes to how people work.
Fair
The
enough.
questions. A lot of questions.
She likes to think that if she can get a rise out of anyone, she can get information out of them. Do you mind if I smoke?
Me?
Yeah, do you guys mind if I smoke a little bit?
It's fine. Just gonna write a letter. Probably gonna find some paper.
Ah,
You know, let a pipe and begin.
I don't mind.
Smoking tobacco.
The pipe goes out.
Light it again.
Pipe goes out.
You glance over his shoulder.
You've
Oh.
picked up some terrible habits, have you? Does it make you
Oh,
feel like an
You
adult?
said- I was trying to see if you still care. Keep getting me up every time I get knocked out. Take care of my lungs. Not as cold as you like to think you are.
I stopped
He'll
after
take
a
the
while because
tobacco he'll take the tobacco out of the pipe and start chewing on it instead.
you stopped being as much of a good meat shield as you could be.
Guess I gotta work for it. That's what the shrine's for now. Then again, let me guess, you're planning to get all the power for yourself, so you don't have to worry about us?
Well, if you'd be so kind as to let me handle issues, then I'd be happy to. But I get
Feared
the
as much.
feeling that you aren't going to be as nice about that.
Whatever makes most sense. If it finds that making
You
one
have
juggernaut out of
changed.
everyone.
Look at you, making sense.
And look at you, still, trying to complicate everything.
Oh. Glass house is there. Well, I suppose you don't live in your mother's house anymore, do you? She closes the door.
He'll remove the tobacco from his mouth, stick it in his pocket, pull a new dry set, start smoking it.
Okay.
Like I said, sorry about her.
That's fine.
Takes getting used to, just like any kid.
Getting used to it's one option, I guess.
I don't know what the other option is. And Calder's gonna go for where Alsana closed the door and knock on it, because Alsana probably has paper, because she's writing the note.
I can
It,
maybe reach into his bag and try to pull one out. Piece of paper.
Do you know that she wants paper?
Fair point.
She did say out loud that she wanted to write a letter.
Okay. In that case, you would know, Kane. If you want to.
You still haven't told me how the bag works, so.
All right. If you want to reach in, go ahead and. I know I told you. I swear I did.
You
go
gave me
ahead
an
and
idea, but you never gave me an official
Ah.
answer.
Roll 1d20. You get some very good quality paper and more than just one sheet. I'd say you get about 5 sheets of paper, and it is nice. It is fine grain. It is smooth. It is very pure in color.
He'll kind of wave it over his head for the halfling. Looking for this?
Oh, thank you. It's saved me a couple questions that I wanted to avoid answering. Thank you.
Figured as much. I have to find utensils yourself, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe. Unfortunately, I think I may have to ask for a quill. Don't use whatever's in your bag. I'll give you whatever I have left.
I mean, if you have ink, I have something you can write with.
I'm not sure. I didn't bring any letter supplies, just adventuring.
Makes sense. Well, I wish you luck with that maze of a conversation.
I'll need it.
Kane will move to a window so his smoke doesn't fill up the room.
Calder's gonna go and ask Alsana if she has like a quill or ink and stuff to write with.
just during that small time, is there a potted plant in her like individual room?
You know what? Probably. There's like one in the corner.
Okay, she's gonna make it flower and bloom as much as she can and use that as a weather forecast with Druidcraft again.
Okay. Let's see. Say
How's it
tomorrow's
looking
weather?
tomorrow?
Tomorrow's weather, at least in this area, is going to be fairly clear. Maybe a few scattered clouds, but no precipitation. It's going to be a bit on the chilly side. It's not fully warming up yet from winter, but it's starting to get there. It's still like hovering right around the point of freezing. So you guys have been dressed warmly for this, presumably.
And-
But aside from that, no new snow, no new ice, no hard gusting winds. It looks like it's gonna be fairly pleasant as far as that goes.
Alright. And then I assume the door knocks.
Yep.
And it kind of creaks open, and you see the one, like, heavily, like darkened around eye kind of peek out through it.
Oh, hey, Alsana, I overheard you saying you need to write a letter to Tokenie. I was wondering if you had a spare quill and ink, and I got paper from your brother, half brother. You don't really like each other. I'll just say Kane. But just wondering if you have some of that letter writing stuff.
The
Am I wrong?
The door opens and a finger beckons in.
Called to walk in.
Oh, take a seat on the bed. And the door closes.
All right. Calder will sit on the bed.
You're such a creepy motherfucker, you asshole.
Yeah.
And this little, like, smoky black heart kind of is drawn in the air as she closes the door towards Kane.
No, that was Connor, that wasn't Kane.
Okay, either way.
Oh, those are nice flowers there. Is one of them a rose?
Well, I had a bit of fun with it. So, you need some ink. Funny,
Yes.
I need something too.
If what you need are answers, matters the question.
Why'd you listen to the letter and come here?
Because I got people to protect. And I suppose this was going to help me do it.
Okay, now, you know what that answer entails, yes?
I like to hear you ask it.
Who are the people?
If I give you names and numbers, well, that puts them in a bit more danger. Don't know you that well.
Danger, you say?
Hmm.
You'll have to learn to not pique my interest if you want me not asking you so many things.
Well, I've just met you. So, I have not built trust. I don't think, especially from your demeanor and your inquiries, that I can suppose you mean no harm to others, but I can never
Well,
be so
physical.
sure until being around you. Yes, that's the exact reason why I won't give you names and numbers.
Fine. Maybe later. Build some repertoire. Stuff like that.
More trust than repertoire, dear.
Well, I guess that's a matter of perspective, isn't it? Here's the ink. And, just do me a favor. I'm not gonna tell you, but please go tell Kane you know his first name. And the door opens and she kind of pushes you out.
When the door closes behind Calder will just go, Kane, your sister's fucking with me. Apparently, and actually walk up to him and just softly go, apparently Kane's not your first name. I'm not gonna pry.
No, it's alright. It's good that you don't know.
And there's a ring from behind the door. Yet!
She really needs to start with smaller questions.
No, she's trying to get a rise out of you. She figures if she gets you angry enough, you'll like. It's better just to be boring.
Kane, I'm gonna let you in on something. I got 3 kids. No one can get a rise out of me.
No, it's not gonna stop her from trying. Also,
It's gonna be-
don't bother telling me now. She's got her ear pressed up against the door right now, and he's gonna throw his like a rock at the door.
Perception check.
Calder made sure to whisper it. Like really quietly.
I may not have Harkness perception, but I can certainly try.
I know.
You may try at disadvantage. Oh, you already rolled.
I'll roll
again.
again.
And take the lower, yeah, because ear against a thick door. Well, not thick, but still ear against a door
Oh,
for a low
goodness.
whisper across a room.
15.
Yeah, no. And 15's not going to be enough, I think.
Alright.
You know she's whispering something, but you don't know what.
How many sheets are in the room she's in?
Sheets. There's 2 beds, so pretty much 2 bed sheets.
Alright,
Well-
she'll take.
One question first.
Yeah.
Does she jump on the rocket the door?
Let's see.
Does she?
Yep.
Okay.
Just a quick.
You're always such a little snoop, aren't you? He just goes back to smoking his pipe.
And she will is there 4 rooms? Or is there like 2?
There's 2 rooms. You're pretty much bunking 2 to a room.
Alright.
Oh, I have to room with her, don't I?
I'll take the room, don't worry. It's not the first time.
No, it's okay. I don't.
No, trust
I
me.
really don't want. I
It's
really don't want
much
one of you
better
to.
than I do it.
Is there wood for the door frame?
Yeah.
Alright. No, I've used both my third slots. Damn it. But she will take the sheet off the other bed and basically stick it in between the door and close it and like close the door on it so that no light gets through the doorway.
Okay. You have set up your
I
light
assume
shield.
we see her doing
Nope.
this, right?
Yeah, you do. Note that about this time, neither one of the guides you had before, somebody comes by with, actually supper for all of you. Something a little bit more filling than just a bread, cheese, jam, and coffee. An actual proper dinner. Because the evening time meal has kind of rolled around in this time that you've been here. And the time that you've been talking and discussing things. And a while after that...
Real quick, Kane's just gonna
Yes.
put a little silver piece in the attendant's hand and say, appreciate the meal. Can you get a message to, the young master? Apologies for my sister.
The coin isn't necessary, and he presses it back into yours. And who do you mean by the young master?
Elf lady, silver hair.
Oh, Tokani.
Yeah.
Yes, I can bring her a message.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Alright.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Okay.
I'm just imagining, like, the servant walks up. Someone said sorry about the dark-haired one. Also, here's a letter from the dark-haired one.
Yep, okay.
Ty, are you really called a friend?
Yeah. Thank you for finally pointing it out.
No, I noticed it immediately. I just don't want to bring it up.
Oh my god.
We have Cain and Abel in our names, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep, alright. And eventually, after you've eaten, after you've written your letters, sent your notes, sent your messages, night begins to fall, the moon begins to rise. It's big and full. The last one and the first of the year. And, the female of the guides, Ivana, comes, knocks on the door, asks if you're ready. It's time.
Yes.
Do we get a long rest in between?
It's not a long rest, no. This is the same night, the same evening.
Okay, short rest then.
She leads you to the stairs, and then down them, and into the hall. But instead of heading to those double doors in the great room beyond, you're instead led and turned towards one of the tapestries. It's the one that says Vigilance.
Oh, is there a secret door? Oh, is there a secret door?
She reaches up, twists a screw in one of the lantern sconces on one side, and you hear a click inside the wall. Pushes the
Secret door.
tapestry aside, and then shoves lightly at the wall beneath it, which swings open on well-hung and cunningly hidden hinges.
Oh, I'm
revealing
going
another
to
rougher
tear
hall.
this place up.
Oh, don't bother. This is the only one. And,
That's what someone hiding them would say.
she takes a torch for light. This one doesn't have the lanterns along its length. And you're led inside and shown a small cavern just a little bigger than your common area upstairs, though far, far taller. And it's kind of the floor of it is half filled with a serene pool of water, into which a drop periodically falls from a stalactite far above. In the meantime, you would have been told the words of this ritual by Miarshka Kladu. And you are left to speak these words, decide if all four of you or if only a few are going to take it, and if so, whether each of you individually will be taking a mental or a physical enhancement, as Threshold is one of the very few that can work for both, or either, rather.
Okay, and we'll let the other three take it.
Yeah. At this point, Ivana actually turns around and leaves, and you are left alone in the ritual room with the torch for light. She takes the second one back with her. Kane is volunteering to opt out.
Why are you standing back?
Not any huge rush or power. Once you guys take it.
Do you see yourself as noble for that choice?
No. Not particularly.
Not the bigger man?
Don't need to be.
Alright. Well, I'm not one to force anyone to do something they don't want to. She looks for any change in expression in anyone.
Kane's just watching.
Nothing from Calda.
Nothing from Alaris.
This could be a long journey.
You're telling me.
Well, if no one else wants to, and she steps forward.
Calda's gonna look at Kane, just go, "Thank you," and step forward with Asana.
Okay. So we've got two. Is it just going to be the two?
Tell me,
this one?
latecomer, did you find yourself worthy?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Does he take a step forward?
I guess.
Yeah. There are going to be other opportunities. You don't have to for every single one. You can vary it up. This is your first test, or taste, rather. Test of the system, sort of.
You know, this is a rare one. Such that it's, well, choosable between the two gifts. We might find others further that, well, prefer certain ones of us than the other. So,
And
even
I'll
the
just help you make the best choice.
honorable sacrifice that you may give, it might be better if we, brought in the ones who need strength of body as well as the ones who need strength of mind. Perhaps all of us.
I'll be frank with you, Al. Don't need much more in the mind. I'm comfortable with where I am. When it comes to more physical prowess, hopefully then those that don't need will be willing to abscond. But don't need to use up the abilities of rare one just for someone who only needs one. You know?
This is just like out of character. This is for both, right?
Yeah.
Ariana?
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Yeah,
You
okay.
can choose. You choose one or the other. You don't get both. But this is a choosable one. This is one where you get the option.
And it's per person?
Yes. So, like, you can take mental bonus, and Calda can take physical, and anybody else can, again, whichever one they prefer. There are boons that apply to any shrine, and then there are ones that are specifically physical and specifically magic, basically, mental. And frankly, anybody can benefit from either focus, to be honest. The physical tends to be like health bonuses, and that kind of thing. The magic tends to be you gain sometimes certain ones are going to be more like, yeah, I'm a spellcaster, I have spell slots. Others are going to be you might gain an ability to cast something once a day or something like that.
See, you're tempting Conrad, but can't.
Eh, I'm just throwing it out there as like a meta thing,
And
just so you can make your decisions.
yeah, she looks back at Kane and is like, well, I'm about to say the words, step up or not.
I'm just surprised you trusted me. Go ahead.
Okay, just to clarify, we've got the 2 ladies in there, and the guys are hanging back for this one? Or is it 3?
I
'Cause
think
this does change
S-
numbers.
Alaris stepped up.
Okay, so we're doing a 3.
Yeah.
Alright. You step in. You really only have to stand, like, close to the shrine, but if you want to, like, put a foot in or two, then you can feel free to do so in this case.
Also, I'll
Yeah.
lean over to, frickin' Alden.
The guide is not inside with you, and it was Ivana who brought you.
Yeah, no, sorry, John, what's your character's name?
Alaris?
Alaris. Okay, why? I don't know why I was thinking Alden. Lean over to Alaris and go, we fought quite a bit and you missed it, so, you owe us one now.
Wait, what?
And she'll say the words.
Alright. Words are spoken, imploring either the good or the neutral gods of magic. It's generally not a good idea. It was agreed that to call upon the evil one for this. It doesn't tend to matter too much, but there's a certain iffiness of doing so.
Right. Is there a particular god we can go for, or...
What?
Oh, sorry, did I lag there?
A little bit.
Is there a particular god it's calling for? Or is it like our choice for a god?
It's not quite full choice. It is specifically the gods of magic.
So, Solinari, Lunatari.
Yeah,
And Nuitari is
Solinari
evil.
And Nuitari. I thought Nuitari was the neutral one. I might.
Nope. Solinari is good, Lunatari is neutral, Nuitari,
Okay.
ironically enough, is evil.
Yep. Okay. So you want the Solitari or the Lunatari generally.
Alright. I'll go for Lunatari.
For the record, it doesn't make any functional difference in what boons you receive.
Yeah, just for
It's-
flavor.
Yeah, flavor.
She'll also just craft a red circle, floating in the air. Sensory effect.
All right, go ahead and you do that. And a moment after it's spoken, you think, well, nothing's happened, it didn't work. And then there's this soft silver glow, like reflected moonlight, even though you are far underground, that begins to reflect from the top of the water. And it builds, and it seems to almost flow towards you through the water, over the water, and wash up and over the 3 of your forms. And for a moment, Kane, you see this most clearly standing aside as you are. The 3 of them are coated in this shifting web-like reflections underneath a wind-danced surface of silvery light, and they're luminous. Only fades. And the 3 are standing there, appearing not much different than they did when they stepped in. Maybe a little light bruising that might have been left on 2 of them from the earlier fight has faded completely. But they seem outwardly much the same. However, inwardly, and on more meta level.
Yep. What's our
Each
numbers?
Each of you takes 5,625 points of experience.
Alright. What do we start at level
For that fight, by
6?
the way.
5? Yeah, level 5.
6,500.
You start at 6,500.
So that would bring us to numbers.
Yeah,
Like
5625 plus I'll add it. 6,500 equals 12, 12, 5. 12,125. That's your current total.
All right.
By the
12,
way,
12,
by-
5.
Yep. By the way, the 3 who participated in the fight, go ahead and each take 1,000 experience.
Oh,
Just
we're
for
so close.
Surviving. Yeah, I know. Sadly. Secondly, the 3 who partook the ritual. Who took physical and who took mental?
Alsana took mental.
I'd imagine Ilaris takes physical.
Kalda took physical.
Okay. Each of you gets 1 ability score improvement point, but you have to put it in one of the 3 stats that corresponds to what
Oh.
you took. So one of the physical stats or one of the mental
One
stats.
of the mental stats. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
you-
didn't realize that because I thought it was just going to go to like intelligence or something, and I was like, eh.
Oh no,
But if it
mental
applies,
is all the mental. Yeah, sure.
if it
I'll go
applies
ahead
to
and
that,
allow
then
it.
I'm taking mental. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to be
this
my
is-
one retcon for the day.
No, that's fine. This is your walkthrough, okay? This is your
Perfect.
tutorial level.
So it goes up by 1.
Yep, 1 mental stat of your choice in that case goes up by 1 ability score point.
Is it 1 point or is it 1
1
bonus?
point. Goes up by 1 point permanently.
18 to 19.
Yeah, exactly.
17 to 18.
Yep. And
Charisma.
so Calda,
Yes.
what is your current maximum health?
44.
Hey, stansies.
0.5 equals. Round up. You add 3 points to your maximum health. Permanently.
All right.
And
Nice.
you currently have 10 temporary HP marked somewhere until spent in battle. I made sure that it would last in case you guys didn't encounter anything for days after hitting a shrine.
Is that just the physical or both of us?
Hold on. Nope, it's just the physical. I'm getting
Alright.
there. And also, Ty, roll 2d6. Alright, write down somewhere on your sheet, probably. I'm gonna write it down on a
Okay.
note myself. For the next 10 days, starting what would be tomorrow, basically, you get resistance to non-magical weapon damage. Essentially, it's the monster stat where
Bludgeoning,
you
slashing,
get
piercing.
resistance. Yes, bludgeoning, slashing, piercing from non-magical weapons. For the next 10 days.
All right. Cool. Got that all written down.
Okay,
Nice.
as for the 2 who took mental stats, you each choose 1 cantrip from any spell list. You can cast it at will using the mental stat of the list it came from. So keep that in
Alright.
mind when you pick things.
So I get a. So
You get
if I choose a
1
charisma,
Yeah.
If
then
you
I can
choose
choose any-
sorcerer, warlock, bard.
Yeah, pretty
sorcerer,
much.
warlock, bard. Okay.
just
So
to
cantrip
make that
from
easy.
those.
A cantrip from one of
Okay.
those lists to make it easy.
Cleric spells, here I come.
Each of you also roll 2d6.
Fuck.
Ah, come on.
Alright, Alsana for the next 3 days, Alaris for the next 7. You get resistance to magical non-weapon damage, basically spell damage in general, and advantage on mental spell effect saves. So kind of like a gnome, if you have to make a wisdom, charisma, or intelligence save against a spell or other magical effect, you get advantage on it for the next however many days you just rolled.
So for the next week.
Yep. If you run into anything then in that time, then you need to keep that in mind. If not, then it fades away after
Resistance
that.
to magic.
For 3 days, great. And
7.
resistance to, you said, non-weapon spell damage?
Pretty much. Like, if somebody comes at you with an enchanted greatsword or something, +1, you don't get to have that slashing damage.
Would the same
However-
would the same apply if it was a fire sword?
Yeah, I think the same
And
would
they're rolling
apply. It would
1d6
have
fire?
to. It would specifically have to be a spell effect.
Okay.
I realize that the sword is magical because it has fire, but I specified weapons versus spells.
Okay.
For this.
And in exchange for the limitation, I imagine you get the saving throw advantages.
Yep, pretty much.
And would that okay? Would something like Shadowblade count as spell damage then?
Since it is cast by a spell, then yes.
Okay. And bonus damage from, say, fire arrow.
Probably because it came directly from a spell.
Alrighty.
So that is what you get to look at when 3 people take something from a shrine.
Mhm.
The boons and bonuses go up the fewer participants they are, and they go slightly down if everyone in the party jumps in.
All right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Alright. And after this,
no, that's not.
you come out. Ivana is waiting for you, guides you back to the rooms you have for the night, where you can start to plan your route, start to figure out where you're going to go next and what you're going to do with it.
Mhm.
But for now, night has fallen. Much is quiet, though you can hear some of the crowd outside at the main above ground portion of the shrine pond. You were in a secret underground chamber where they themselves pray for blessings, though not with any powerful ritual, not to any powerful degree, just enough to perhaps gain a little inspiration, perhaps to heal a sickness. Small things, but great for their lives.
And,
So different from yours. And that is
Kane's
where
actually
we're
gonna make
gonna...
that same prayer from his room.
Okay.
Also, Elsana will not be in the same room as Kane. She will gladly
Oh.
She will insist on one of the other two. She has had enough with sharing a room with him from the rest of her life.
Calder will take the room with Osana.
Kane kind of shrugs. Suit yourself. I was half a lifetime ago.
Thanks for the offer, though.
My apologies for it not working out.
Important question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Calda... How does Calda go about going to sleep?
She gets in her pajamas and she goes the fuck to bed.
Okay. Because Elsana will make sure there is absolutely no light in the room.
Alright. Oh, Calder can't fucking see.
Yep, it is pitch black. She may have put her own sheet in the doorway, such that there's no creaking in from under it.
Alright, actually, because it's you, and I'm gonna say it before you make a fucking perception check. Calder does have a necklace that she puts under her shirt when she sleeps.
Alright, does it glow?
I don't think it glows, or it would
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
glow.
Alright.
doesn't glow.
Oh, also, just as a small thing, you might see her, like... you might see her, like, disassemble her hair.
Alright.
And...
Takes her beads out, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. She has a whole bag, and they are full of various colors. And she also has a small box. And she opens it, and there's a few beads in there. And she kind of says a swear under her breath, puts them back with the rest, closes the box, puts it away.
What's up with some of those beads you got there?
They're in jail
Why?
because they've been bad.
I think I need. Okay, you're the question asker. I need you to give me some.
Yeah, it doesn't
actual
feel
answers.
good, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. So, at least start small. You can ask me questions.
And
start
the grin
small.
goes over it again. I just mean to say when someone leads on to something and doesn't give you what you want to know, it can be frustrating. So frustrating.
Maybe if they were gentler and a bit kinder and asking questions that weren't immediately intrusive, I'd be able to slowly answer them.
I don't
But
know the
slow
definition
here.
of the word. Regardless, these ones were from particularly rough days, and I quite frankly blame them because they were the change to the repertoire I have in my hair.
All right, well,
They've
there's
been
a
in there for
reason.
about 4 days. I feel like they've learned their lesson, and but I am. And she kind of like fiddles with a bit on her. There's a few here that are going in there because today's fight did not go well.
Well, I don't think that's our fault, nor the beats, but you do your rituals. I respect that.
The eyes look at the eyes from under dark makeup, kind of glance over. It's like, sure.
I'm sure that I.
Do you sleep with a nightlight?
No, not
Good.
entirely.
And she kind of just like flops onto the bed, one bead still in her hair.
All right. Caldwell, go to bed.
Good night.
Good night, Alsana.
Don't let the shroud bite.
Hope they won't.
As Kane and Lyris are settling, Kane's just gonna go like, ritual work.
Sorry?
As Kane and Lyris are going to sleep, Kane's just gonna go through ritual work.
Yeah, I suppose so. Feel at least a little bit different.
Cool. Night.
So that's good to hear. And Alaris is going to remove the necklace from around his neck and put it on the end table
Okay.
beside his bed.
I think we're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you fall asleep, drift off. It's calming, it's quiet, it's peaceful for now. But you know that in the morning, it's gonna come the beginning of a very long journey. And yes, that is where we're gonna go ahead and call the session itself to an end, though I do have a few after session things that I need you guys to do. So,
We'll keep the recording going.
yeah. You don't have to. But basically, I just need to know where you guys plan on going first, because I need to plan what you're gonna run into. Because this is very open, and I am not prepared to do the entire world next week.
I do not blame you. If you guys are alright with it, the kind of idea that I have in my mind is that we head up this way. Try to take care of the one over here, get the distant one as quick as we can, and then head down here to hopefully get these two as well later on.
Yeah.
Keep in mind also that you've got a limit of roughly 7, really now down to 6 shrines, because this was number 1. This was month number 1, and you've got to be back by the beginning of month number 8. So,
Alright.
you've got 6 more you can pick from. If you're having trouble seeing any on the map, then I can help you out. If you want to prioritize them by type or color, by location known or unknown, even by, hey, there's something close to home, then by all means.
It seems like the left side has a lot more of the that's the multi-option ones, right? Or is that the mental ones?
The blue is mental, red is physical, purple is multi.
No, I know, but color isn't super easy to see on my monitor.
Okay, true. Right, that's right. You've got the weirdo monitor. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Purple here. You've got a purple in Soren Woods somewhere. You've got one on the Howling Plains somewhere. Let's see, where is my last? Was there
This
only
one's red,
3?
right?
Yeah, Moormarsh is red. Let me...
Those are the exact same color on my monitor.
I am sorry.
Which way does the river run? The Drake run? Sorry.
Threshold, Soren, Howling Plain. Okay, yeah, Threshold, Drakra, Soren, Wood, and Howling Plain are the only ones that are purple. So there were only 2 more. One is here, one is here. The Drake Run runs down from the mountains into the Maramore.
Okay, so we are not taking the river upwards.
Well, probably not. You could probably walk along it.
I was gonna say, tides make it so that it can usually do that, can't it?
It's not actually an ocean with tides. It's a flow of water, river, going down into this great lake that's not quite a sea.
Okay. Which ones do go outwards from the ocean? From the lake?
Heartbreak goes downwards. Swift River goes south. Most of the others drain down from the mountains into this lower valley area.
In that case, we could instead go south and basically the opposite direction.
Yeah,
for walking.
I would say we go to Sorenwood first, and then cut across down to the Green Lake.
The only thing is, I would say we get Green River first and then go down.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause
And
we know
then
where
we
the
could grab the
Green River-
one on the Dragon Spine as well, before
Yeah,
we get to
exactly.
the Green Lake.
Yeah.
Or even we can go Sorenwood, Green River,
Now,
and then at this point we go 1, 2, 3, and then we're able to go back down to the Howling Plain and save us some time.
if we
Keep
were
in mind
ballsy,
also-
okay.
Keep in mind also that these measurements are going to be inaccurate.
Mhm.
The ones that do not have the known mark by them are just like general
That area.
locations. Yeah,
General
it's not
location,
even
yeah.
it's not even like the south of Sorenwood. It's somewhere in Sorenwood. It's not
Okay.
even this edge of the Greenwater Wood. It's somewhere in the Greenwater.
Okay.
The Dragonspine one, they know it's somewhere in this little pocket valley in the Dragonspine, but not exactly where.
All right. Even then,
So-
that's a decent route.
Yes. Yeah, it is just ballparks.
Side thing, if we were ballsy, we could
Yeah.
go from Threshold to the Emerald Fields and then Sorenwood.
And also another thing, the Howling Plain is a terrifying location.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we leave that one till last.
Yeah, wait
Yeah.
until we get a bit more power on us.
Because that would be because then we'd have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're on 6, so that'd be the last one we did.
Another thing
Yeah.
is,
No,
you,
we get 7 before we do it.
you've got roughly a month to
But we've
travel
already
to each
done
of
one.
these. You've got roughly a month to travel to and potentially find each of these. You're not really squeezed for time such that you have to go 1, 1, 1. You can go, to one, and then you can go to another, decide that the Dragon Spine is just too much, go down here.
The reason I want to get the
hop over
Sorenwood,
there.
the reason I was saying get the Sorenwood done, if we're going to do these ones pretty quick, it's so we get there as fast as we can, so we have as much time as possible to find it, and potentially
Yes.
still be able to use those bonuses
Yeah.
we got from this shrine.
Well, that's why
Yes.
that's why I also
a good
say
point.
we have limited time on these current
Mhm.
ones. It's a fairly short area. So
Yeah, that's
what
why I say so Sorenwood first, but definitely makes sense.
well, no, I would
Sorenwood first.
I would say Emerald Fields first
Ah.
because we know
And
where
also-
Emerald Fields are.
You
There are
also know
also
that the
wars
Emerald
going on.
Field is currently contested. It's in the middle of 2 armies
Oh, yeah.
clashing against each other, kind of over both
Yeah.
the fields and the shrine.
Yeah, but
So my suggestion, real quick, the reason I say it,
well, let me
if
just
we go through,
okay.
if we just real quick, if we go through the circuit on the right, months 5 would be more marsh, or
Yeah.
month 6.
Not to,
Because doing
not,
that,
not to mention. Oh, sorry.
well, hold on. So if once we get the one at the Moormarsh, I can arrange travel just through my background to get up to the Emerald Fields, so we have the power we need, and it would be quicker over boat than it would be by land, and we have the extra time to do it because we already know where it is. It's just getting there is the issue.
Yeah, no,
We don't have
but
to spend searching for it. We just need to get to it.
I guess, but at the same time, my side would be that we know where it is. We have, well, specifically Alsana, but other people we have 3 days to get for someone to lose their buff, and 10 days for everyone to lose their buff.
Right.
So
we were all specifically warned against the Emerald Fields. I think we should at least get a couple before we go into that.
well, but I'm saying that we could. We are specifically warned about the Emerald Field, but warned about the Emerald Field because it's in war and it might be difficult, but we know exactly where it is. At worst,
The
we
thing
do
is-
combat and we are geared up. It would be better if we were geared up for combat right now because we currently do have those resistances, rather than kind of blithering around Sorenwood for like 4 days.
Yeah. Would Alaris know his way around Sorenwood, or since
what I was
like
gonna
Walton
mention.
is so close, or is that too far into the
Or
Sorenwood
at least be able to
for
get some kind of help.
Alaris? Yeah, Alaris's like expertise.
I will say that off
Because
the
I would
cuff-
honestly want the buffs to search for stuff rather than go into the contested field.
Well, then we would have the one from the Emerald Fields.
I was gonna answer the question.
Hmm.
Off the cuff, Alaris knows at least the verges of Sorenwood closest to Walton. However,
So like 2 hexes.
I will he would be able to roll like survival checks at either a lower DC or at advantage, depending compared to the rest of you for that area. So yeah.
Do it that way you
Alright.
may.
Okay.
Another thing
Okay.
is if we do the right circuit and go up to the Emerald Fields, we have to skip one shrine because that's 7 shrines if you count the Emerald Fields, Moormarsh, and all the ones in the Howling Plains, and Dragonspine. So we'd either have to make that decision or skip the Emerald Fields and instead get Kane's
At the Moormarsh.
Kane's connection at Moormarsh and go back up the
Well,
threshold.
Moormarsh is easy because we know where it is, and King can get us there. So, do we need to get the Emerald Plains one? Because if we go this circuit, the only real dangerous one that we know of is the Howling Plain.
Yeah, because we
And Howling Plain and Emerald Fields are the same marker, aren't they?
No, Howling Fields are purple, Emerald Plains are martial. Or physical.
but if we
Yeah,
if
Even
we
better
get
then, so we have the multi-option one.
yeah, we get all 3 multi options.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I
sorry, Moormarsh and Emerald Fields is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Moormarsh is red, Emerald Fields is red.
Yeah, and we
Those
know
two
where
are
both
the
of them are. So,
And
actually, I
there's
think
the
Kane
one
might have an idea exactly where it is, if I'm not mistaken. I can't say
might
for
not
certain,
be.
but I'm relatively sure that's at least a lead.
You're still in the game, right? Yeah, go ahead and what kind of check would it be? Probably some kind of wisdom check. No, it would be an intelligence for putting 2 and 2 together.
Lovely. Are you sure it's not just from experience with wisdom?
It's not so much experience; it's adding
Or,
experiences
sorry,
together.
knowledge that he's already kind of he learned through doing rather than books. So I don't know.
It's 2 plus 2. It's the question of perception versus investigation. Perception to see there's some dust disturbed. Investigation lets you know hidden door. It's that.
Am I rolling with
Um,
advantage or
Tell you what.
what is
I think
It
your
would be
position
probably a
allows
lower
you to.
or do you say?
Maybe. Just roll an intelligence check. Let's see what you get.
Yeah, dice have not been kind to me today.
Yeah,
None of us.
you've got like a sneaky suspicion, but you're not really sure.
Um.
Well, fair enough.
Okay. Alsana knows the Greenwater Wood. Yeah.
Yes, she does. She would be a good guide for that one, actually.
Okay. And she's aware of the thing in there, right?
The thing?
Wait, no, that's Deep
the
Thicket.
celebration? Or no, wait.
Was it Deep Thicket or was it Greenwater that had the middle? The
You
big
kind
middle.
of have okay, you got information from 2 different things about 2 different woods. If you're talking about the cultural celebration one,
Yep.
that was Greenwater.
Okay. And what about the Silver Stag?
That was Deep Thicket.
That was Deep Thicket. Okay.
Yes. 2 different things.
Okay, but then Greenwater would probably be the better bet on that count then. Okay, good to know. So yes,
Yeah,
I
I honestly
highly
say we
recommend
skip
we go for
Emerald Fields.
Greenwater. What's that?
Yeah, I honestly say we skipped Emerald Fields entirely. Honestly,
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
be a bit of a danger.
Other thing. Keep Emerald Fields in mind, and Moormarsh. Would we be doing Moormarsh?
Moormarsh would be the last one if we do the circuit, and we succeed on every single one.
Okay, so, other thing. Alsana will, at some point, get Tree Stride.
I think it's transport via plants.
Is it
Yeah,
Transport
Tree-
via Plants?
Tree
Yeah.
Stride is a short term, transfer your plants is the long term.
I keep... Oh, God damn it. Fucking Marisha
Yeah.
fucked me up on this.
Yep.
But,
Everybody.
yeah,
yes,
but,
eventually you could have much shorter
Yeah.
travel.
But what I'm saying is, transport via plants. If we were to somehow, in the time we were going, get people to get us a view and understanding of the place right outside of the Emerald. Could we potentially do 2 on the same day?
Good
I'm going to
question.
say no to 2 on the same day.
Okay.
Just because of the whole timing aspect, and I know you could get there instantaneously, but yeah, I'm gonna say no on that one.
I assume the chanting takes a while, basically.
A little bit of that, a little bit of like it's this very potent rush of magic
Okay,
and energy. And
I have
power.
one counter argument.
Yes.
Technically, we'd be in different time zones, wouldn't we?
No.
Damn it.
There is not this much. That much.
Bold of you to
It
assume.
was worth a shot.
I'm sorry. It is. Yeah. The
No, that's
timing
fine. I wasn't
is
expecting that to work. I was just hoping.
that precise.
Uh,
You do not have a 10-minute window here. No.
I'm saying this so I remind myself later, to ask the dragon about Dragonspine, and if that is a namesake only.
Okay. We will go ahead and save it for next time. I
Yep.
guess we're going to be doing a little bit of roleplay and stuff.
Yep, because she also, yeah,
Message.
yep, because she has to talk to now 2 dragons.
Yep. All right. So
real quick. So the plan is to Utar first, and then to Walton, and then to Sornwood.
Yeah. Utar is basically a town. You take a little ferry across from Threshold Island to.
Well, Kane's
Utar.
got his boat, so.
Well, okay. Then you take Kane's boat, but Utar has docks.
That's basically the goal. He wants it somewhere he can
Yeah.
find it again if he needs to.
All right.
Sentimental.
Yeah, and then it's basically one day to maybe Walton if you want to bed down for the night and then go in the morning.
Okay, so other thing, just longer term. Would we be going from Sornwood, would we be going to the other woods then? And then go upwards? Because we do...
No, I think we should go to Green River first.
Why?
Why go back up only to go back down?
What do you mean?
We could... So, not a tool. We could either go from here to go back here, or we can go from here to go 1, 2.
Okay, fair enough.
And following the river down would be faster, I assume.
But, yes, but also we might have to go even farther south in Sornwood. That point is not the point it's at. We
That's
could
fine,
be
this-
5 hexes to the right.
Okay, then from here, it's still long-term, I believe, a short distance. And easier to move between, because I assume going up that river would be harder than going down.
Pretty much.
Because if
It's
it's
flowing.
mistaken,
Yeah, it's flowing
yeah, it
south.
flows this way, right?
Yeah, it flows south. It actually flows through the Greenwater Wood into Green Lake.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay, good point.
And then there's a little tributary that goes into the Marimore from Green
Alright.
Lake.
Which we could take if we want to skip the Howling Plain for some reason.
Nah,
Um,
I want to do it.
Like we really... Yeah, no, I do too, but say there's some reason we have to skip it. Because at that point we can go to Moormarsh. That would be our second to last one. You have transfer via plants at that point, hopefully. And if we really want to do the Emerald Fields or something, we can.
Alright.
Okay.
Like, say we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Moormarsh, we know where it is. We can go there.
Also, a side thing is, we could potentially, if we're searching around Sornwood or we're searching around the Greenwoods, and we are getting very close, like 3 days away, and we're not sure if we can find it in time, we can always go up to Green River
Exactly, yeah.
and then go back down and do that.
I imagine it would still take time, so I'd say less than, or to make it more than 3 days, but...
But regardless, yeah. So I think for now our plan is probably Utar, then Walton, then Sornwood.
Or if we don't get a lead in Walton, we can go to Soren, and then Soren.
Yeah. But that area.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, GM?
All right. I have noted your plan.
All right. Then I will end the recording if there is nothing else.
Hold on. Should we do the D100s first?
Let's go ahead and see if you get anything really fun. You only have a 1-day travel, so if there are any encounters that are too big for that, then
Everyone
maybe
roll one,
save
or
for
just the
another
one?
time. Yeah, everyone. I want to see what sorts of things I get.
56.
All right.
D100s fucking love you, Devin, so...
Mm.
Especially with this character.
We shall see.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Alright, John, go for your D100.
My D100.
Yep. /R. That bitch.
Watch him get an 100 right now.
Uh,
it.
watch him
Come on.
get 1.
Damn it.
Fairly
Okay.
even spread.
I have noted them down, and we'll see if anything interesting happens.
All right. Oh, you're not going to say what
Now?
it is.
Of course not.
No, you guys have no clue.
We have to come back next week, huh?
Yeah.
Find out next time on.
Okay.
So
That'll be all.
then I will stop the recording. If I can get the mouse over here.